Hello, my beautiful gemstones. Welcome to Friday night's live intuitive oracle with myself and Ghostdragonzw. Yes, and what's up? She says early tonight. Hey, everyone. I actually thought I was going to be late. What a day, let me tell you. I decided I didn't want to wait until Sunday to get groceries because YouTube paid me today, and I knew that that little bit of money was not still going to be in my account. It was going to be just drained away by the time Sunday got here. So RJ gets off the school bus at 3:30, and I was like, I can take him to Applebee's, walk across the street from Applebee's, do all my grocery shopping, Uber there, and then have Ray pick us up, bring us home, and be home in time. So about 3 weeks ago, maybe, there's this gigantic sinkhole on Route 80 East. All right. Then as of last week, there was also a sinkhole on Route 80 West. And as of today, there's 80 East, 80 West, and one of the routing, like the detour routes, 257, which I didn't know because I don't drive. So, and I don't watch the news. So it took us a really long time. It took us about 35 minutes to get to 10 minutes away. I had to run through the ShopRite. It was crazy. I thought I was not going to make it in time. I literally just sat down. So I wanted to wear something a little bit nicer for y'all. But this is what you get. My one of my 45 different, I have it in 45 different colors. One of my Walmart tank tops. Carly, are you from Jersey? Yeah, 287. I said 257. 287. I had no idea that it happened. So everyone was rerouting through my small town, and it was a wreck. If I knew that was the case, I would have figured out a way to wait until Sunday. But we're here. We're great. Doing okay. I got called a CUNT on TikTok today. So that was nice. Always a good time by some dude. It was a joke. It was me just sitting there and I wasn't saying anything. And the audio said, imagine having to tell people that I'm your ex-girlfriend. Totally meant as a joke. This guy comes in and calls me a CUNT, and it was just bad. But I just deleted the comment and I was like, whatever. Let me say hello to everyone. No, busy with weather and things, getting hung up last week in Arkansas. I have to concentrate for this weekend on things. Not sure I'll be here. Women have pushed me with their limits. Yeah, we also never got to give you your chart. So if you can hear me, or anyone, if you see Nomio come back in, I need his email so I could send it. Blue Crossroads, what's up, Love Bug? Latro, Jenny Wheel. Hello there, Gemma Jade. I'll be out shopping when the stream starts, but we'll drop in later if all goes well. That sounds good. Why did the alien become a gardener? He had a green. I was just listening to Watcher Shane and Ryan talk about the Hopkinsville incident, because Shane, I don't know if you guys are aware of BuzzFeed and Watcher. Shane is a huge non-believer. He doesn't believe in any of it, and Ryan is a huge believer. And they go to all these allegedly haunted locations. And then they have this other show where Ryan just sits and tells a true crime story or a paranormal story. And they are so funny together. I love the two of them together. Yeah. Jim's camera, what is up? What did one O say to the other O? Ohio. I cannot with you people. You people. Josephine, hi. Okay, very, very cool. Josephine, thank you for the donation. Guys, I'll run through this again a couple more times later, but just remember, if you're a non-member, it is $2 for a one-card reading, $4 if you donate through Super Chat or Super Sticker, but only because YouTube does take 49% of everything, including donations. Also, if you really can't pay, you can wait until the end. Someone always covers it for someone else. And if not, I don't like turning people away. The only way you can get turned away on this show is after I've already called it. I'm too drained and can't do anymore. And then you pop in. That's really the only time that I would say I can't or won't read for you. I always feel bad doing it, but sometimes I just cannot. Carly, what's up, girl? Jarvis, the Bat Mom. That mom, unfortunately, not yet. Not yet. rerouting the creeks and streams and wonder why sinkholes are popping up. We had them run right off 270. There's now 3, but the thing is, the first one, that was like 3 weeks ago. Apparently they built that part of our highway on top of some mines, some old mines, and they just like built over these mines. So I'm like, are we gonna have to call like the army or like National Guard in to fix these sinkholes? Because apparently nobody knows what they're doing. It's like 40 feet down. And it's, I mean, luckily, you know, nobody was driving along that one spot when they dropped, because you can get seriously injured. I mean, it's not that it's no big deal, but nobody got hurt. So now it's like no big deal, like just freaking fix them. So now there's 3 all within like a few mile radius all around the exits to my house, which means everyone's rerouting through my town, which is a tiny town with tiny streets and no sidewalks for the most part. So it was just crazy. I didn't think I was going to make it back in time. Yet here we are. Yes. Okay. Carly just said that. It's not the rivers and streams here. They built the whole interstate over old abandoned mine shafts. Yeah, that is exact. I didn't know that either. But that makes a lot of sense, actually, for a lot of the spiritual activity that I've picked up in this area. Just things that I've seen while driving along the highway or riding in the car, driving along the highway, just like, oh, that was weird. You know what I mean? Throughout my whole life, never knowing there were abandoned mines or mine shafts underneath. Miss you too, Miss Lotus Girl. Take care of you. Oh, okay. Okay, Carly. They plan on long term to build an overpass over all the old mine shafts, according to the DOT. I mean, I hope they do, even though that's going to be a pain in the butt for years, but at least it'll be like we're fixing the problem, right? Let me bring in the man of the hour here, Godzilla himself.
Godzilla. By the way, I did post 2 new ones on TikTok.
I've been having so much fun with TikTok. Tonight. TikTok is so much easier to edit in cool things. It's just like the touch of a button as opposed to YouTube. I could also use the filters that I want to use on TikTok. But some of the stuff on TikTok I can't transfer to YouTube, and some of the stuff from YouTube I can't transfer to TikTok. So it's very frustrating. But I've been having fun, and some people are hating some of the content I'm putting out. But I'm pretty opinionated, and I'm not as quiet on TikTok.
That's what makes it fun. That gives me another reason why.
Jarvis, that's not good.
What?
Jarvis said, my whole streets is built over a 200-year-old cistern system.
They're all over the place down there.
Yeah, and it says, that's so crazy. Like, what the F do they expect? Like, building the houses before the roads. It makes me crazy. Yeah, and New Jersey is one of the oldest states, right? So these were people who, like, knew how to build and, like, really, really knew how to build things from the ground up that took this strange way out. Not that they built the highways all the way back then, but you guys know what I mean.
It's weird to go to Georgia and you go down to Atlanta and go into underneath the city. You go down in the underworld, as I call it. There's like a whole nother city underneath downtown, which is really cool. That is. Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm only messing with you.
I know you are.
Yes, I am ready though. Let's dive in.
Ready? Mm-hmm. Ready? You sure?
Oh wait, no. Guys, this Monday we're going to be talking about high strangeness in the Hudson Valley. This is extraterrestrial high strangeness, abductions, craft sightings. What's up, mommy dearest? And next week, I'm excited to bring you all encounters with extraterrestrials wearing jetpacks and flying suits. I found that many that I'm able to do a video on it. But I'm not sure if that one's going to come next week or the week after, because let me tell you, I have a book due on the 1st and I have maybe 5,000 words. I put it off to the last minute and now I've got to catch up. So I may have to use the week to do that. Lotus Girl says, I'm loving the glitches in the Matrix. Thank you. I love doing those stories too. They're one of my favorites. And it's crazy because everyone's always like, oh, you got to do more true crime. You got to cover this case, that case. And when I do true crime, it gets literally half or less of the views everything else gets. So I don't know, branching out a little bit. But yeah, Mom, I don't know if you heard, there's another sinkhole now on 287. So 80 East, 80 West, and 287. So Lotus Girl, I'm glad to see you here. I hope that you're feeling all right. Portland Underground, very haunted. I recently found out, and then we're going to get started. that the town I live in is actually one of the most haunted towns in all of New Jersey. Excuse me, which again makes sense, but like, what are the odds, right? Getting a horse. It probably is an easier way to travel for sure. All right, who's first? Mom, just let me know when you're ready.
Well, let's see. I don't know. We can go do blue first.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Do that. Go ahead. Go ahead. Do that.
All right, please stop.
Go ahead. Okay.
Don't be purposely annoying.
I will. Stop being annoying.
Just because I live here. Yeah, you know, normally I can like sniff places out. Not that I would have like not moved here if I had known. It's just like it just makes sense. Jarvis says, I've seen videos from your town on the Travel Channel. Really? I know there's a really, really old missing persons case of an 8-year-old boy from my town. It's like one of the oldest in Jersey history. I'm getting horse. I'm getting a horse. My emotional support chickens. Trader Joe's has, if you're in New Jersey, near Morris County at least, Trader Joe's has dozen large eggs for like $3.69. I just paid $9.89 for a ShopRite brand, but okay, Blue. I see you. I see you. You got the Hunter. Track down your fears and desires. These are not in any particular order. Oh, okay. I found it quickly. Track down all of your fearful thoughts and feelings. When you find them, you'll find your desires too. The Hunter card is based on my favorite Celtic god, Cernunnos. He is the stag god of the wild and represents both the hunted and the hunter. Similarly, the Hunter helps you connect with an energy that is both fearful and fearless. Your fears are the only things that are standing between you and what you desire at this time. So you have to come face to face with them as the Hunter does with wild animals and go beyond them. By the way, Latro, head back in if you can later. Lotus, if you have to leave or aren't feeling well, let me know and I could read for you before you go, or we can keep with the timestamps. I'm just like kind of excited to have you here. I know it's been rough. Blue, instead of being hunted down by your fears or other feelings you have buried, become the hunter. You are being given confidence and strength at this time, so use your power to make a difference. You're not here to cower away or live in the shadows. You're here to realize your fullest potential, but this can only occur when you step up and do what has to be done. When this card arises, there could be an opportunity to face an aspect of your past or bring closure to a situation that has been haunting you. If you're a man or identify as male, this card represents your masculinity and an opportunity to know yourself more deeply. I don't feel like this is really, hi, Rainwater. I don't feel like this is really you being, you know, fearful in the sense of being afraid of something, Blue. I feel like this is more of you just getting to know yourself and getting to know yourself on a much deeper level than ever before. Now, I know you're a very self-aware, self-confident person, but I feel like things could have been happening maybe even in the last year or so, definitely the last few months, that maybe have you acting out of character in a way, and not like always in a bad way. So I feel like you're just more spiritually explorative in the next few weeks. Oh, Lotus. Yeah, more spiritually aware, and really just learning things about yourself that maybe you had forgotten. So like relearning and learning new things about yourself. Like, oh crap, I never thought I would be able to do whatever. I never thought I'd have the desire to do whatever. There is an element, once again, of someone coming back in from your past. I feel like this is always the same person. And they're just not taking a hint. I feel like they just are having trouble realizing that you have set a boundary. You are enforcing a boundary. You mean what you say. You really have to make that clear to them. And this is where the Hunter also comes in, because you may have to dig deep down inside and really, you know, say what you mean and mean what you say and put your foot down with this person for once and for all. I don't think there's really anything you're going to be able to say at this point that's going to convince them that you mean that you do not want this relationship or this business proposition, like whatever it is. And I feel like you could be kind of second guessing yourself, because I do feel like you're going to get very agitated or very frustrated, and you may, do what all human beings do and just kind of blow. And then you're going to start feeling bad. Don't allow yourself to feel so bad that you renege on these boundaries you're setting, or go back on your word of I am not interested, or find yourself being manipulated. Like, I can't believe you would treat me like that. Can we go have coffee and talk? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Blue, I do. I think it's her. For sure. That person is very, very manipulative. I don't get like an evil feeling off her or anything. I just feel like she's been through so much. Her life has been, and I can kind of somewhat resonate with this, even though I've dug spiritually deep and I've changed my ways in this area. She's been through so much by her own choice, bad choices, and by choices others have made for her, where she just feels now like everything is kind of a manipulation game. It's kind of how she gets through her days and how she walks the world. And that's unfortunate for her, but you can't be her savior, because she doesn't actually want you to be. She just wants the attention, right? She doesn't actually want anything she's offering you or asking you for. She wants to be sure that her backup guy is still her backup guy. Right? All right. Can we do Lotus? Because she was going to be passing out. She had 3 procedures today.
Yeah, go ahead. If she's going to stay for it, yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, Blue, you can feel bad about it, but don't feel so bad about it that you act, and you end up, taking 10 steps backwards in the progress that you've made. People don't have to like or agree with everything we think, say, feel, and how much they disagree with it or can't handle it will determine their place in our lives. Lotus, I'm using Dark Goddesses again. Ashen, the card of self-love. Now is the time to love yourself. Ashen is reminding you to reserve your love for some... Wait a minute. Now is the time to love yourself. Ashen is reminding you not to reserve your love for some imaginary better version of yourself. What's up, Divine? You are worthy of love just as you are. Practice speaking up. What am I talking about? Practice speaking to yourself with kindness and compassion. Honor yourself by listening to your own needs and desires. Tennille, I really do think in the next couple of weeks, it's time for you to, what's up, Netter? Hey, Roger. We've talked about this a lot, and I'd hate to sound like a broken record being so repetitive, but really kind of pouring into yourself and understanding that pouring into yourself is caring for your loved ones, right? You can't say you care for your loved ones and, want to do everything for them and want what's best for them, and then go and run yourself dry to the point where you have nothing left to give them. I do feel like physically, all of the energetic giving on top of so many other things, I'm sure, is finally getting to you. Remember, I said, take care of your wellness or you'll be forced to deal with your illness. I know you've had a lot of illness in your life, especially throughout the last few years. But I do feel like this could be, if you work within the energy the right way, a wake-up call for you to, maybe if it's not making these gigantic changes, to make these little changes every single day to not only love yourself, but, to love yourself enough to really care for yourself. Some things we just can't skip, and those things are going to be different for everybody. If I skip yoga more than 2 days in a row, I'm a mad woman. I just have no balance, literally. Right? And that means something, because it's a little thing that I take 15 minutes to half hour out of my day every day to do for me. And Tennille, I just don't feel like you have enough of those things. And I know you don't have enough of those things because you already have so much on your plate. There's not an extra 5 minutes. You have to make it, right? You have to make the extra 5 minutes. And here's what you can do. Tell yourself maybe that, like if you were actually physically sick and could not keep your head up, you would not be able to go and do whatever this is you need to do. Like I know you don't do toes, but just bear with me. You would have to make the customer wait for 15, 20 minutes. You can get yourself together, feel a little better, pull yourself together. You've got to put yourself in that mindset of like, okay, just because I'm not physically sick, I'm spiritually suffering right now, and I'm physically not feeling well as well. So-and-so is going to have to wait just a couple minutes while I do this small thing for me. And once you get into the habit of doing that, it'll become more common, and then it'll become like second nature. And then there will be more and more things that you do for you until finally, the way that it should be, Lotus, every decision you make, you're going to, not in a selfish way, think about how it's going to affect you. So many of us go about our lives just giving without thought of return, when we should be thinking of return, even just energetically, right? Do you want to let someone live in your house that every time you walk past them in the street, they spit in your face and slap you? No, but it'll make them happy and it'll get them off the streets, right? Like, that sounds ridiculous, but that is kind of the energetic exchanges that I see when I'm walking around in public and someone holds the door for you and you don't say thank you and just walk by. They've just given you energy that you walked off with and wasted. There's nuance to everything, guys. But Lotus says, I've really been amping up my healing affirmations. I haven't spoken them in years. I'm saying and repeating, I am healthy, I am healed, over and over and over. I picked up my manifestation affirmation book again too, and the 369 that I only did like 2 pages out of, I still have it. So good for you. Please keep doing that. Please keep being mindful. Also, something that I'm seeing, it kind of blends yours and Blue's reading together. So both of you guys need to listen to this, where it's like being mindful of your being mindful of your spiritual vibration as you're doing things, right? What's your motivation? And make sure in the next couple of weeks, specifically for both y'all, that there's no secret selfish motivations in anything you're doing. And if there is, you need to kind of work through that. Do I have expectation if I do XYZ? And what is that expectation? Why do I have it? And can I do XYZ without the expectation? I don't know why that came up, but it came up showing me kind of both of y'all together. I know you guys don't chill together, so it's not like between the two of you. It's each of you separately figuring out, do you have any hidden motivations for some of the things you're doing? And how can you clear some of those out? Who's next?
Josephine is next.
All right.
Josephine, you here? I'm sure you are.
She's here. Guys, if you're on TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, X, I'm posting a little bit more and more every day. TikTok, I'm doing pretty well on. Again, though, if you don't think we have the same political beliefs and you're a person that gets upset about those things, maybe don't go over there. But everywhere else, it's kind of the same thing as YouTube, just across multiple platforms. I am kind of killing it on TikTok, though, because it's so easy to do simple edits over there. I invite you to come and join me. If you're someone who's like sensitive or gets offended easily, probably not. But other than that, you're more than welcome. I really could appreciate the support across platforms so I can get monetized. I see you, Josephine, on each and every one. Which would be a huge help. And I will be going live on TikTok soon. Ghost Dragons and I are going to be bringing back afternoon talk. We just have to figure out the best day and time for us to do that. We may do it bi-weekly. We're still in the works of bringing it back, just Ghost Dragons and I. But we got to kind of talk about it and see where our schedules meet. All right, Miss Josephine, I'm using Paolo Barbieri's Night Fairies. And guys, listen, it's okay to have expectations of people. It's okay if you lend someone, $100 and the deal is they give it back, for you to expect them to follow through, right? I'm not saying don't ever have any expectation in your motivation for doing things, right? It's okay in a lot of circumstances, but make sure that you're solidly aware of what your motivations are, and whoever you're dealing with is also aware, right? I don't know why that's important, but one of y'all it's going to resonate with, and probably both. And I don't see it, again, as like a bad thing. I just see it as the universe being like, oh, by the way, make sure you're aware of this because it's going to end up coming up. Josephine, you got card number 1, the card of enchantment. Oh, so I did a video where I reposted this chick, Bella's, one of her TikToks where she's talking about how, like, men, and she does it in a very sarcastic, funny way, right? And I thought it was funny, so I posted it, but I posted it under the title, I know it goes both ways, because I knew people were going to come into my comments and be like, well, women are the same way. And I know that it was meant as a joke. Some dude comes in the comments and he goes, yeah, look at you with your, what did he say? With your pretty blonde hair and your long nails and all that makeup. You're so shallow, showing us who you really are. And I'm like, I didn't say this. I just deleted it. But I'm thinking to myself, you're judging me based solely on how I look. Tell me a little more about how shallow I am, please. Like, what are we doing here? It doesn't even really bother me anymore, to be honest. All right. Josephine, do I dare travel so far in the cloak of night? The fairy of enchantment calls us to move, pulling us forward into mysterious and magical night by a force that is uncontainable. Open heart, wonder, whimsy, following your heart, welcoming magic into your life. Josephine, visualize the call of the unicorn pulling you forward closer to your dreams. Allow yourself to be taken on a journey of magic and wonder. Visualize your journey. Where do you end up? Your affirmation, I open my heart to magic in my life. I am listening. I welcome adventure. Allow more time for enchantment in your life. What is magical to you? Is it a twilight evening, perusing pebbles along a shoreline, or collecting a kaleidoscope of colorful fall leaves? Make time for magic, Josephine, in life, and especially in nature. Remember to play in the dark. So, Josephine, you are not having, like, any fun. Oh, thank you, Miss Lotus Girl. I've definitely come a long way in learning how to put makeup on. That's for sure. But I appreciate it. Thank you. And I always, like, I wear a small filter on TikTok. YouTube doesn't offer them, but TikTok does. And, like, the one I use isn't, like, crazy. I just feel like people are always going to judge me no matter what, right? Like, I'm kind of a public figure, but it's just some people are so rotten. I'm just like, wow, who hurt you? Are you okay? Josephine, you are not prioritizing fun. And it's not only that you're not prioritizing fun, it's that you're literally not having any. I feel like at this point in your life, Josephine, you may not even believe in fun anymore. It's like going from one thing to the next, right? Like, you're smiling, laughing, having a good time. And then you remember that whatever it is you're doing is about to end or will eventually come to an end. And you're just going to be miserable again anyway. This is a very low spiritual vibration you've stepped into, but it is part of a dark night of the soul. So, again, no judgment as always. Josephine, I feel like in the next couple of weeks, now I know everyone has responsibilities. We have jobs. Some of us have families. Like, we all have our responsibilities that we cannot shirk, right? Like, I can't just go away for a week and leave my 6-year-old home alone to get himself to school. Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously you can't do that. And you can't just take off work to go on a whimsical adventure. And Edna, that is exactly it. They named me Edna. It's hard to hurt my feelings. Oh, I love you. But you absolutely must, Josephine. I feel like, okay, I was going to say you absolutely must prioritize fun. And here's how you're going to do it. In the next couple of weeks, there is an opportunity coming in for you to do something that you really, really want to do. But you are going to try every which way but loose to talk yourself out of it, to not do it, to say no. And the fact of the matter is, like, the universe is like, no, number one, this is a major step on your path. So it's a fated step. If you don't do it this time, a couple years from now, you're going to end up meeting whoever you would have met. Like, why not just cut out the middleman, cut out that few years and have what needs to happen now? But Josephine, you're about to meet somebody who's going to change your life for the better. I don't know if it's romantic or in what way. It could be someone that offers you, your dream job, or there is some universal magic going on here where things are just going to bump like dominoes, but instead of falling, fall into place for you. But you have to prioritize fun. And I know this sounds very strange, but I'm telling you what they're showing me. They're showing me a bunch of fairies just popping balloons, flying around, popping balloons, giggling. They're having fun, right? So much fun. Josephine, you can say no to doing something fun, going on a small vacation or a staycation, or, getting involved in something online that you're really passionate about. But all you're doing is prolonging your happiness. Because once you let go and give a little and allow yourself just an inch of fun and happiness and light, it's going to be like an addiction. And you're going to slowly but surely get back to not always being, worrying about where the money for the bills is coming from, worrying about, is this person happy with me? Is that person happy with me? You are on this amazing journey, just like we all are. But Josephine, in the next couple of weeks, if there's something you want to do deep down inside, it's going to come as an offer. So a friend's going to ask you something on the internet you're going to see. Number one, I would say do whatever this is by yourself. Like, not by yourself, but like, don't invite anyone else along. If you're invited along, that's great. And I do see that being how it kind of comes to pass, with a friend being like, hey, I'm going to be doing this. Like, come with me. And your initial reaction, you're going to do everything to talk yourself out of doing whatever this is, even though deep down inside you really are like craving to do it. Don't be like, all right, I'm going to do it, and then turn around and ask someone else to come with you. I don't know why, but for some reason that's going to kind of damper or whatever this is. Josephine, get out and have fun. If something feels good, do it. Obviously, I don't mean negative or to your detriment. If you feel passionate about something, pursue it. All right. If you feel adamant about something, testify to it. Get out there. Live a little. We've been talking about this a lot in the past few weeks, guys. We're like, living and surviving. We can't just go about life just keeping our head above water. We can, but we're slowly going to die inside. And our hopes and our dreams are going to go die with it. Julie girl! Who's next?
No.
Hey, Melissa.
Hey, Melissa. Okay. You want to really know who's next? Edna's next. Edna's next.
Yeah, and I'm going to use what? I'm going to use Victoria Francis Oracle. I believe this one's called Gothic Oracle, but it doesn't say that on the book. I haven't used these ones in a while. Oh, you got it. Okay, nothing was broken, right? And what we can do is Sunday or Tuesday, we can do a video call quick, and I can walk you through the use of everything in there. I'm so happy you got it. I called the post office today, and she's like, those are estimated delivery times. You have to give 7 to 10 days. I'm like, well, today's the 8th day. And she's like, no, not including weekends. I'm like, okay, so business days, right? I was really upset about it, but I'm glad you got it. She was no help. All right, and then you got card number 7. There are no titles on these cards. Oblivion denied. Strength, confidence, and stability. When you recognize that beauty is within, your sense of self-worth becomes more confident and strong. Through these murky waters, the tree represents strength. The need to hold on to some sort of stability is important right now, maybe because there have been many changes of late. If you have been through recent emotional turmoil, then allow yourself to be supported by those who can help you be strong, even if it's just a kind word from someone who cares. And Edna, the stillness of the water suggests you may be holding in what needs to be said. You'll find the words to deal with a delicate situation. Trust your intuition, listen to your inner voice, and the right time will become clear to you. So, Edna, I do feel... Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for letting me know, Jules. Oh, I'm so glad. And thank you for your support and for your purchase. Okay. I do appreciate you supporting me like that. Sorry, Anna. Thank you for your patience. And I don't really feel like you're like holding back something you want to say, right? The feeling I'm getting from what Spirit's showing me, well, maybe you are, but I'm getting more of a this. Okay. I'm sorry, Anna, 1 second. Carly, yes, if you get disconnected, absolutely. I'll do that for you this week. So if we call you and you don't answer. All right. So what I'm getting at, Anna, is it's not so much you're holding back like what you want to say. I mean, you might be, but what I'm seeing is like the big deal here, what the card is pertaining to, is you not necessarily stating your needs. You're pretending to be, for example, perfectly fine with, again, not being recognized. And this is going to sound silly. That I use silly examples, but say like, your wedding anniversary is coming up and you go and get your hair done and you get your nails done and you buy a big fancy dress because you're going out dancing. and your husband doesn't tell you you look beautiful, doesn't notice the hair, nails, or even the dress, and you feel some type of way about it, but instead of saying anything, you don't say anything, you just keep that inside. Once we do that enough, we kind of train ourselves to expect less, and we train ourselves to be okay with bare minimum. Now, I don't see you at all as a person who's going to just sit around putting up with bare minimum. And I feel like that's why this is going to become a problem very quickly if you don't express how you're feeling in a situation. There could be some things that you're, again, keeping silent about, like you really want to tell someone off or give someone a good, write a strongly worded letter, and you might be keeping that in for the right time. But this is more of like you not wanting to express your needs or feeling like you don't have the right to, you shouldn't, it's not going to matter anyway. It doesn't matter if the other person even hears you, right? I mean, hopefully they do. But what this card is talking about is you having the rights. It's not even just the right. I'm getting a feeling here that I don't know how to describe. It's like you, just in your humanity, you have the right to feel the way you feel no matter what, right? I tell you guys all the time, I have someone in my life that no matter what they do, that hurts me, upsets me, bothers me, angers me, makes me cry, it does not matter. Their response to it will be, well, you shouldn't feel like that anyway. It's stupid to feel that way. Right? When I'm like, well, don't you apologize for like, when you said this, it hurt me. Well, when I said that, it shouldn't have hurt you. So why should I apologize? You know what I mean? And it's that type of energy that I'm seeing here. Someone is definitely messing with the wrong one. I would not want to run into you in a dark alley. I mean, I would because we're friends, but you know what I mean? You're just not a person I would mess with. You remind me of my grandma, Pat. Not that you're a grandma, but just the personality is wow. But yeah, and I don't know why you would be silencing yourself for whoever this person is. And I do get that it's one energy that you're just like, I'm not even going to bother because it's not going to go anywhere anyway. Right? Like, I'm not going to. And then you kind of just hold it in. But I think the problem too is like you're not venting it out to really anyone else. Not in full. So it really is just staying in, and it could cause things like this, guys, can cause physical illness. I know a lot of people don't believe that. And, I've literally seen it happen. Okay. And you don't have to be confrontational. You just could say like, hey, when you did that or you didn't do that, it really bothered me. You could even throw a really effing bothered me, right? Put your foot down about it. And you have the right to say, I'm not going to be treated like that. I think the thing could be too is, I know when I say, like to you guys, like I'm not going to put up with that. The next time it happens to me, I know I don't have a choice. In this one situation, like I don't have a choice but to put up with it. So I don't want to make that statement and then just feel like an a-hole, right? This person is now making an a-hole out of me on top of everything else because they know just as well as I do that I don't have a choice right now. So I do feel like in the next couple of weeks, I don't even think there's room for you to open up now. I just feel like you're going to hit that boiling point. And this is the universe reminding you of who you are, that you have the right to go off, to say what you mean what you say, to feel how you feel. It's very valid, but just be sure like you don't get yourself in trouble or act too much outside of yourself to where you start snapping on everyone and then you're this whole other person. Then you have apologies you may have to make. You know what I mean? Like it could get out of control. Like Pringles, once you pop, you can't stop. That's what I keep hearing. Like you're going to snap. And I don't think there's anything that you can do to stop this at this point. I feel like this is the universe telling you to be mindful. Hey, Spookly, to stick to the facts of what you're talking about, right? Don't be like, and another thing, this happened 20 years ago. Do you know what I'm saying? Make sure you do that. And make sure, though, that going forward, so that this doesn't happen again, talk about it in the moment. Again, even if you feel like the person doesn't care or the person's not going to change their ways anyway, keeping those kinds of feelings inside can really damage you, not only emotionally, but spiritually and also physically as well. Okay. We start having heart problems when we hold in those types of emotions. I just feel like this is saying, stay focused. Don't blow on everyone. Don't blow up on everyone, right? Stay focused. Keep it direct and to the point. Okay. And don't be gaslit into thinking that, you're somehow overreacting. You are 1,000,000% in the right. This person is in the wrong, and you have every right to defend yourself. I don't know why this would even come up, because all of this is like, I feel like stuff that and maybe it's just you needed that extra boost to be like, you know what, don't F around, because then this person's going to look at you as though you're someone to be treated this way. And I feel like that keeps, and I totally get that. Yeah. Sometimes we have to stand back and let it happen, even when we see the crash about to take place. Yeah. And that's what this is. It's like, okay, you put up with it for long enough. Enough is enough, but make sure you stay in that energy. Even if, just say, I don't know what the situation is, but if the person apologizes, you guys make up, it might never be the same again, because you're never again going to allow it to get to this point. And they probably are not willing to accept that they were wrong at all, or even that much to like offer to change behavior. So this could actually be the end of the relationship as you know it. I'm not saying you'll never talk to this person again, or if it's your husband, y'all are going to get divorced, but things will always be different from here on out. Blue Crossroads says that's how some people can only learn. Yeah, sometimes it's the only way. Who's next? Because I was going to say, if Carly's going to be disconnected, we might as well do her.
Yeah, go ahead. Actually, she was next, so It worked out perfectly.
Carly, I'm going to use Wild Woman Oracle. My trust for them is gone. The relationship has already changed. I see you, girl. Carly, you might have told me this already. You might not, you don't have to put like the town you're from, but can you put the county if you don't want to put the town? I'm just curious, because now I know you live by me, kind of. Or I think you do.
And next is Divine.
Divine Empathic, you are next after Miss Carly, girl. Sussex County. Oh, you are close to me. I'm in Morris. You know what, though, Aunt Anna? I truly believe in my heart and soul, knowing you as I do for all these years. I've known you for at least 3.5 years now, okay? And I know you intimately due to these readings. You did everything you could. Do you know what I mean? You were the bigger person all the time. You were kind, patient, loving, caring, accepting, supportive. This was supposed to happen this way. Aunt Edna says, Carly, I'm sorry, give me a second. I expect more from this person, but we all have to learn our own lessons. I have learned that my biggest disappointments in life have come from my own expectations. When we expect people to treat us as we treat them, because it almost never happens that way. And as your female counterpart, I love that. All right, Miss Carly, you got card number 34, Inner High Priestess, the card of divine service. Carly, we may have to get together one day and have coffee or something. Because if you're in Sussex County, you're right near me. My sister lives in Sussex County in Wantage.
Isn't that where the book signing was at?
Around there, yeah. Yeah. Where we stayed that Halloween. That was a cute little room, and we got to watch AHS.
Yeah, it was really cool how that worked out.
Card number 34. Even though someone stole my freaking hat, I was so mad about that.
The last time I left my pillow.
Yeah, you left it in your hotel room, though. Otherwise, I would have been able to remind you. Carly, you know what? You should maybe email me if you can. I'll give you my phone number, and we can text about it. New England, I'm listening. Oh, nice. Okay. Very cool. Yeah, email me. Ghost will put, there it is, Gemma Jade Paranormal, and I'll email you back my phone number, and you can text me. I don't do phone calls, but I will definitely text all day. All right. So Inner High Priestess, what is your life in service of, and how can you express that service? Carly, you're being called to a greater level of divine service in your own unique way. The High Priestess asks you to tap deeply into your wisdom, the blend of your life experience, worldly and spiritual knowledge, intuition, and self-awareness in order to fully devote yourself and serve a higher purpose. Traditionally, the High Priestess was a quote-unquote virgin. While this term today carries the meaning of sexual chastity, in ancient times it denoted a woman who was unmarried. who did not belong to a man and was, quote unquote, one in herself. The high priestess is a scholar and teacher who studies ancient occult knowledge that most shy away from out of fear or ignorance. Unlike most, the mystery of the unknown does not kindle fear or dread within her, but instead ignites curiosity and an unquenchable thirst for knowledge and learning. She reaches deep into the hidden higher realms, both with and without, integrating this knowledge within the material realm in order to be in service to a mission greater than herself. The symbolism, the high priestess is an archetype embodying the divine feminine, wisdom, intuition, initiation, psychic abilities, and sacred occult knowledge. As in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, she is shown flanked by pillars bearing the initials B and J, standing for Boaz and Yakin, names on the pillars in the mystical temple of Solomon. They represent duality, masculine and feminine, darkness and light, good and evil, and the earthly and celestial realms. As the third eye chakra connects our physical self to our spiritual self, the high priestess is the portal between the earthly material plane and the heavenly spiritual plane. She has one foot planted firmly in each dimension. I would do something like that, Netter. I really would. Honestly, though, I would probably want to have the island to myself for a little bit, and then I'd get bored. So, Carly, I don't know if you're religious, and you don't have to say if you are. This could be religious or spiritual or both. Take it as it resonates. Me, being a born-again Christian, a very devout one, for me, whenever I'm on a spiritual journey, it always tends to become a religious journey. If that's the case for you, take this as it is. Otherwise, take it as it resonates. This is you doing things like this. Okay, coming into chat, getting your cards read, befriending a community, becoming a part of. It used to be that interest in these types of things and activating abilities, that's good, and so many people I know are like that. So I just like to ask, because some people, if I start talking about prayer and God, it's okay, because I know that they're Christians or religious, and I like to know if you are or not, so that I don't recommend something like that to someone who, wouldn't want to do that. So anyway, it used to be that people like us were other, right? The Island of Misfit Toys. Now it's like there's community and we can build community. I do feel like things are rapidly changing in many areas of your life. And that can be the same for all of us in here, really. All of us have so much going on. It's just the energy of the collective right now and how it's been for the past few years. But Carly, I feel like for you personally, you could be feeling, and if you're not yet, it's going to be coming in, like very alone on this journey, as though maybe the people you were always closest with no longer understand you, or you don't feel as closely connected to them anymore since you've started this spiritual journey, whatever that looks like for you. I just feel like you're changing as a soul. You're changing on a soul level. So when you see all of these relationships start to kind of go awry and, you get upset and you're wondering I'm the same person I was, like, what did I do? One, you're growing every single day in your spirituality. You're not the same. Number two, even if you were the same, you're kind of leveling up spiritually. And this could be a hard thing to understand. So I want you to think about it in the next couple of weeks, how your relationships are changing. You're going to start seeing a lot of people for no reason at all just start not liking you or not want to hang out with you anymore. It's that your light is kind of irritating their demons. Not saying they're evil people or even that they're demonic, but they're not going to be vibrating as high as you. You are going to see a shift in a lot of areas of your life in the next few months. It's like when you look back a year from now to right now, everything is going to be different. But you know what? Everything's going to be better because you are spiritually searching. Your soul right now is yearning to know more about all the stuff we talk about here on this channel, right? What your abilities are, how you can help others, or what kind of help you would need. You're on this, I just see it as, it's so beautiful, on this really amazing journey. And your message this week, 1,000,000%, or for the next 2 weeks, is for you to really understand when things start to seem like they're going all to hell, that they're not. It's just you elevating faster than the people around you. And it's going to be really painful. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you, because you're going to lose people you thought were going to be in your life forever. It doesn't mean you'll lose them forever. They just need time to catch up. And maybe one day you can be the helping hand that pulls them into their spirituality. But now going forward, now that you've activated and you're aware that there's something else, you're never going to be okay with just staying stagnant anymore, right? You want to learn and grow and help and create, and you're just not ever going to be on the same level you were last week. It's only up from here, even through the hardest of times. The hardest of times really do, as cliche as it sounds, help us grow the most and the fastest. So please, let go of these people and relationships to the best of your ability. Try not to dwell too much on them and let them, they'll be stunting your growth if you do. Understand that everyone makes their own decisions. You can't force someone to be around you, to be with you, to love you, to understand you, just as nobody can force you. Okay. But you are on the right path. You are not, nobody's in the wrong in most of these cases. Okay. Everyone has that toxic person that's just an a-hole that we all need to get rid of, but don't, for the most part. It's that nobody's wrong. It's just, if you've been vibrating here and all your friends are vibrating here, once you're up here, the saying, we just don't vibe anymore. This is why. Because of spiritual vibration. That has a literal meaning. So, feel free, again, to text me, to come into the streams, come into the comments, get some numbers, build a community up around yourself, and seek knowledge. The best place to start would be speaking to since you are more spiritual than religious, speaking to your spirit team. And all you have to do is have a pen and paper handy and say, I'm here. What do you want to know? Now, there is a way to do that. You don't just grab the pen and paper and start talking, because you can end up pulling in some pretty demonic things. But we'll talk about that. And I can definitely help you get started with connecting to your team and your guides. And once you start, it's going to get to the point where you don't need the pen and paper anymore. You'll just ask a question into the air telepathically and immediately receive the answer. It's actually very easy once you get the hang of it. And I really do think you need that. That would be your instinct and intuition out loud in your mind. All right. You've got this. It's going to be painful. Losing some people, it's going to hurt, but you're going to be better off in the long run for it.
Let me know when you're ready.
And plus, you're a Jersey girl, so we don't take no crap from no one.
Oh, I don't.
All right. Who's next?
This one carries a shank. Oh, I'm sorry. Divine is next.
I just remembered. Very nice. Thank you.
You here, Divine?
Miss Divine, I'm sure you're here, but just give us a heads up that you are, please. I'm going to fix my lipstick.
Why, I don't want to start writing the number down and then go, oh, I'm here. She's here. Okay.
What number?
I usually, if they don't answer back and you say timestamp, I'm already writing down a number.
I got you.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see. You know what, Divine? I think you need the fairy tale this week. Guys, please don't forget, if you have any extra to donate to my PayPal or Cash App, I would appreciate it. That'll be my weekend money. I do want to thank you all very, very much. Since I've come and talked to you guys about my financial situation, how my pay works with YouTube through donation and all that, my donations have gotten a lot better as far as on a monthly scale, where I'm now no longer making only $120 from YouTube. I'm making a little bit more, but every little bit counts, and it is a noticeable difference. So I do want to thank everyone who's been donating, everyone who's, bought boxes, bought readings, all of those things. And you guys who, it's not always about money. You come in here, you share the video, you listen to the videos or watch them all the way through. You comment at least 7 characters, like all those things helps push my videos out, because YouTube is shadow banning me. I know it for a fact. And let me tell you why. Lately on my shorts, it'll say I have no views, right? Say the short's been up for an hour, no views, but 7 likes. Now I get paid by views, not likes. Likes is engagement, which is whether or not how far the video will be pushed and how much. Views is what I get paid for. So how can I have no views but 7 likes. That means at least 7 people had to have seen the video. And for 100% of people to like my shorts, you know, I barely get like 7% of people liking them. So YouTube is really messing with me. It's a real thing. You know, the fact that Wayne and Michelle over on Michigan UFO only have like 3,000 or barely have 3,000, that is a sin. That is a crime. And it's because YouTube doesn't support our community. Oh, Aunt Anna, you are so right. Okay, so Divine, you actually got 1/2 of my very most favoriteest fairy tale growing up. I rented the fairy tale theater movie of this so many times. I don't know how my parents and my sister dealt with me. And if I had it my way, I would have named one of my sons this, but all of their fathers insisted in the other direction. Although I probably could have gotten away with it with Damien's father. You got Hansel. From Hansel and Gretel, the card of survival, card number 4. Oh, and, I don't know why that is.
It's only on the shorts.
It's so weird because, like, if you weren't able to comment, you also wouldn't be able to come in here. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't just ban someone from shorts. It would have to be ban all comments, hide user from channel. That's crazy. Okay. Maybe I'll see if I can look that up. That's so weird. I always forget that too. Divine, when the moon came, they set out, but they found no crumbs, for the many thousands of birds which fly around in the woods and fields had picked them all up. Hansel said to Gretel, "We shall soon find the way," but they did not find it. This tale, with its horror and cruelty, is one of the fairy tales that lodges in our minds and stays with us our whole lives. These two children are not lost, nor do they accidentally come across hardship. They are most deliberately abandoned by their natural father and stepmother, and it is the stepmother who persuades the natural father to let his children basically starve to death or be attacked by animals and thus become food themselves. This painting of Hansel is almost like the first part of passing the terrible test these children are undertaking throughout the tale. It's about intellect and brains when under threat. It is Hansel who first outthinks his father and stepmother and leaves behind the trail of breadcrumbs throughout the forest. He sacrifices their last food so they can find their way home, but the second time he cannot help them find their way home. He is the courageous brother who confronts the terrible problem despite his fear, because this is one of the great messages of this tale. Everything that takes place within this tale is horrifying, and yet everything is met with equal measures of teamwork, truth, and fear. They are abandoned, deserted, and they are nearly devoured. And it is Hansel's hunger that leads him to making the dangerous mistake of being drawn to that cottage. But within the cage, he still faces his fear and uses his wits again to fool the witch who wishes to eat him and his sister. In this way, the tale shows you that you too must find a clever way to outwit those who would harm you at the moment. You must combine your wits, your ability to think fast, access your inner genius, and outthink those who would endanger or disadvantage you. You don't want to be gullible. You mustn't be foolish. You have to develop courage, and the situation you currently find yourself within gives you the opportunity to truly be better. There is also an opportunity to work as a team with another who is equally disadvantaged at this time. Be shrewd, be wise, feel your fear, for this will inspire dread, but know that your quick wits can overcome this great challenge at this time. Is it fair? Not at all. Is it right? Nothing could be less true. Does that matter? No, it definitely doesn't. In this situation, you must use the energy of your fear to inspire the quickest, smartest thinking and actions you have ever taken. Salvador, hi! Okay, so there are a few things here, and Divine, you know I don't like to give out scary messages, right? But sometimes if something comes up, I do need to address it. So before we move forward, I just want to say I want you to be very careful when you're out at night in the next few weeks. Kira, hi! Oh my God, yeah! Very cool. Welcome. When you're out at night in the next few weeks, be very careful. Make sure, you have your hand on the panic button for your car when you're out. Don't be in dark alleys. Like, I'm not being funny or facetious. I'm being serious because I do see the risk of a physical attack. And I don't mean to scare you, but I don't know what else to do with these messages other than give them. Okay. I don't really feel that someone has it out for you. I see it being more like a victim of circumstance or opportunity. So just be mindful. You're going to be fine. You have great instincts. So you'll be good. But just be very, very careful. You know, obviously don't pick up hitchhikers. Don't, you know. All right, Mom, let us know when you're back and I'll read for you. So don't pick up hitchhikers. Don't allow strangers into your home. Don't, you know, I do see a little bit of danger there. Okay. Now, in going forward, I also see that there is someone here who is kind of out to get you, right? And it could be your daughter's father. You'll know who it is, I'm sure. And if not, in the next couple of weeks, you'll come to understand who it is. I don't think it's being hidden from you, though. Kira, absolutely. I normally charge $2 to my PayPal or Cash App, but since you know, I know it's not your first time here, but since you haven't been here since I started, it's okay if you can't. Just hang tight and we'll get you a reading. All right. Sorry, Divine. I'm so distracted, but I feel like you're one step ahead, and you know you are, and whoever this other person is knows that you are, and they're really going to be pulling out all the stops to try to distract you, you know, feed you misinformation, have someone slow you down, have someone, like, there's a lot of manipulation at play, but it's kind of like backhanded. They're like manipulating you through someone else. For example, telling your daughter, oh, you know, you've got to tell mommy you want to see me, because, and I'm not saying that's happening, but that's the type of thing that I'm seeing. I'm also seeing you in the next couple of weeks, and this is the most important part, kind of having to play a role. Like, it's not the best thing in the world, but it's not the worst either, where I feel like you have to kind of pretend to go along right now just to get along. Just know that for as frustrating and icky as this is and makes you feel, it's not forever. This is for like a couple of weeks until something gets settled. I don't know if you're trying to get information from someone, or if you're in a really bad spot and need to kind of, you know, smooth things over until you can. This is like telling, you know, your ex that they can move back in, you know, after months of them showing you they've changed. They're moving in just as a friend, and then as soon as they see you dating, they like attack you in your house, and they're like, well, I'm not going anywhere. So you have to kind of pretend that, you know what I mean? That's the kind of energy I'm seeing here. I hope that makes sense. The universe is saying, do that. You know, that is your smartest move right now. Is to kind of pretend as though everything's fine, everything's good, and really catch whoever this is off guard. Basically, don't show your hand at all to anyone for any reason. This person also has people trying to maybe milk you for information, or scouring through your social media, trying to find things. Oh, girl, I know how that feels. Just keep things very close to the vest, very tight to your chest in the next couple of weeks. If you got to tell a few little white lies, then you've got to tell a few little white lies. If you got to pretend to be okay with something, even if you're not, you may have to do that. I mean, I am really seeing that, like you just kind of being like, oh no, you know, it's not a problem. No, I'm not. No, I would never call the cops on you. Like, you know, and then as soon as you get the person out of your house and you lock the door, you immediately call the cop. That's the kind of energy I'm seeing here. Play it smart, use your wits, and be very, very careful when out by yourself at night. Okay, please. Kira, awesome. If you can, I would totally appreciate it. I just asked for $2. Whatever you can donate is fine. Divine, I am a little worried. I don't know. Like, I don't want to scare you. What's up, Smoochy girl? It's not like I'm, you know, I hope you understand what I'm saying. Take extra precautions when you're out at night for the next 2 weeks. You know, I just don't like the icky feeling I'm kind of getting. So who's next?
Sorry, one sec. Next is Netter, unless you want to go ahead and do Mom. She might be eating.
Well, Mom's eating.
So,
and Netter likes to be last.
Hold on.
And
yeah, let's get ready to put it up. It's unfinished, but I'll put it up.
Blue Crossroads says, safety tip, if you're out driving and being followed, don't drive home, because they now know where you live. Drive to a fire station and tell those guys you're being followed. They'll protect you. A couple more things, not just for Divine, but so that all of you know. If you feel like you're being followed, like somebody followed you home, say, and you didn't notice, all right, Netter, I got you, until like you pulled up, and you like, don't go inside, especially if you live in an apartment building, and immediately turn on a light, right? Because I've heard from several women that I know that they felt like they've been followed home, or that like somebody in the neighborhood was like watching them. And this one chick felt like she was being watched. This guy was pretending to get something out of his trunk. She went inside. She didn't turn on the light. And as she looked out her window, she saw him standing in the road looking up at all the apartments like this, trying to see where the light went on. Also, obviously, if God forbid something happens to you, don't let anyone take you to a second place. It's better to stand your ground in the first place, because once they get you, they can take you wherever, and then you're completely at their mercy. Or if you put up a fight at the first place, come what may, it's more dangerous to just go along kind of to get along, right? In those types of situations. I'm not saying that stuff's going to happen to you. Blue Crossroads comment just kind of put those safety tips in my head. So, all right, Netter, let's do this. We're going to use Halloween. Oh my goodness. You guys are too much. New England.
To get Gemma, all you need is a white fan full of oracle cards. And that's all you need.
Oracle decks. They also say to, like, if you feel like you're being followed, make some turns. If the person follows you in a complete like square, like if they follow you and you make a right like 3 or 4 times, they're definitely being followed, right? New Englander roadie. I actually used to say that to people when I would go out to the clubs. I want to say I don't feel safe since I removed him. Divine, then that's a message you need to take a lot more seriously then. And I'm glad that I was able to give it to you. Just be aware. Don't be like overly worried to where it like, affects you. Just be mindful. You're very smart. And I don't actually see anything happening. If I did, I would have messaged you privately, or would message you privately. The only thing I can say is I see kind of the effects of it. So it's like you go into the store and you come out and someone's broken into your car and like broke your car window, or, you go into your purse and your house keys are missing. There's something like that. Like I'm seeing you dealing with like the after effects. Well, thank you. I watch a lot of true crime stuff. Skull of Stars, Netter. Infinite possibilities. Why think so small? When galaxies spin within, realize that you are made of the stuff of stars, and infinite possibilities begin. This skull brings us back to the fact that we are all made of the stuff of stars, yet many of us think so small. We are each born with a blank canvas to paint upon, and we are indeed an open sky of possibilities. It is easy to feel small in a world that is so busy, impersonal, and seemingly self-absorbed. We can at times feel lost and unclear about our direction and lose sight of our place in the cosmos. The Skull of Stars reminds us that we are only limited by our own imaginations and boundaries. If we can dream it, it's possible. This card indicates, Netter, that you need to think bigger and more broadly about your future and what you would like to achieve. Perhaps there are false beliefs, often old, that no longer serve you as you grow and change. Sometimes these beliefs may not even be yours. They may have been imparted to you by your parents or the wider community, yet feel rather incongruent to you. You need to endeavor with all of your heart and soul to live the life you want and honor your own wishes and truth. This is so true. With you particularly, because I feel like, and this isn't a bad thing. We all go through this, I used to Tylenol PM and NyQuil myself to sleep for days at a time just because I didn't feel like getting up and living life, right? I didn't want to not live life, but I just didn't feel like actually doing stuff, right? Just let the days pass by. Netter, you're in a situation right now where you feel trapped. You feel like you don't know which way to go, and everything you try fails anyway, so why bother trying? And you're second guessing every decision you've ever made, even recent ones that you know are good for you, and you're going through a dark night of the soul. The problem is, if you never step outside of that energy of this isn't going to work, that didn't work, nothing ever works out anyway, you never step out of that energy. Good. I hope that you are, because what this card is saying is opportunities really are all around you. I'm not seeing the type of opportunities that like fall into your lap. I do see you like going out and, you know, endeavoring to look for the kind of job you want, the kind of relationship you want, trying to cultivate the kind of friendships a little bit at a time, right? Little baby steps so you don't become overwhelmed. But in the next couple of weeks, I feel like the universe and your team, they're kind of challenging you to put yourself out there in some situation. Yes, after you take a shower. Put yourself out there, either with a romantic interest or with a job or one small area of your life. Take a chance and then watch how the universe works that in your favor. Even if, say, you're applying for a job and you're feeling really good and you're like, all right, the universe told me to go for this, and then you get turned down. The universe did that for a reason. Something bigger and better and much more for you is coming. This is about having faith in the universe that it does things for you, never to you, that it's always working in your favor. In the next couple of weeks, take as many chances and risks as far as bringing opportunities and the right kinds of people, relationships, and friendships to you as you possibly can. You cannot lose in the next couple of weeks if your heart is really in the leaps of faith you're taking. Kira, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And you are next. All right, all right. Oh my gosh, Netter, I know.
That was Netter, right?
Yeah.
And then after her is Jules.
Okay. The better weather helps tremendously. Oh my gosh, me too. The thing with the weather for me, I realized today that today is my 6 years and 3 months sober anniversary. Check me out, because I got clean December 21st, 2018. And for me, it's that first couple of days, like the first week of the weather change, whether it be the fall, the fall air, the leaves falling, the winter, like the first snow, the first bitter cold day, spring, the first time I smell that spring air, and then the summer, the first really hot day, I panic and my body goes into like use mode. And I really have to take myself out of that and be like, whoa, you're not there anymore. This is where you are. This is what you're doing. It's crazy that after all these years, that is a 9 added together. Thank you, Miss Kira. Thank you, Miss Smoochie. Thank you, everybody. No, but it's just about being mindful of where it's coming from, It's not easy. Everybody has their stuff. We're all just trying to get by. I haven't heard from Nutslap all week, and he's not here. I'm kind of a little worried. Oh, geez, and then that's not good.
That was one of my private messages.
Oh, I didn't even see any private messages. Yeah, I don't know. Where is he? Yeah, I normally hear from him at least once a week, just like saying hi, letting me know what he's up to. I might have missed his birthday. We missed his... He's right on the cusp. His birthday was in the last couple days. He's probably out celebrating.
Did we?
Well, we had to have, because today is the Aries Pisces cusp, and he's a Pisces. So it had to have been in the last week or so.
I think it was
I feel so bad.
Sunday or Monday, wasn't it?
I don't know. I just said I don't know.
Chris was one of them, and
oh. Okay. Kira, just give me a second. And thank you for the donation, by the way. Hey, Slappy Pappy, we're all waiting for you in stream. I'm live right now texting you. Did we miss your birthday? Are you upset and mad with us? Do you want me to sing happy birthday to you? Get your butt in stream, please. Thanks. Okay. Now we can move on. Kira, thank you for your patience. You got card number 4, the Treasure the Dragon card. Hey, Sandra, welcome. Know what you treasure. Change is natural. Holding on to what is impossible long term. Protect what is important to you. Set proper boundaries and trouble might avoid you. Be strategic. Think ahead. Be brave. You can triumph if you try. Perhaps one of the most well-known creatures of the darkness across many world cultures is the dragon. From ancient Sumeria, Japan, China, Korea, right across to Egypt and the Middle East, across Europe, through the Bible, and even Sufi poetry, all have dragon lore. While they may be described differently depending on where you are from, dragons almost always have a serpentine form, a large-tailed, scaly, and often live hidden in places like caves, deep pools, or inside of mountains. Asiatic and Middle Eastern dragons are the most like great serpents, sometimes with legs, sometimes without, and are often strategic and intelligent in their mythos. Chinese dragons are beautiful and are considered aligned with the element of rain and bringers of good fortune. So do I. The European dragon is most often winged, can breathe fire or spit venom, and has often been the target of heroes who will kill them in order to win a prize, overcome something, complete a given task, or receive or steal the dragon's hoard of treasure. It is this aspect of their mythos that is intriguing. Dragons can be seen as both gatekeepers and protectors of treasure, what is valued at the same time. Sometimes the dragon collects the shimmering gold and jewels for themselves simply because it's beautiful to them. Sometimes the treasure is being guarded for a purpose, good or bad, yet the dragon must be overcome for the hero to be rewarded with some of the treasure. In the Norse sagas, there is a wonderful story of the hero who makes his money by working out various ways to sneak past sleeping dragons. In the English saga Beowulf, a slave steals a single cup from a dragon's hoard, and the dragon knows of it and begins to raise the city around it. Beowulf takes 12 warriors with him to slay the dragon, but when they see it, all but one runs. Beowulf battles the dragon, but his sword shatters and he is mortally injured. Both he and the dragon are dying. He tells the one warrior who stayed that he must bury the majority of the dragon's treasure lest the cowardly soldiers come back to claim it, and he and the dragon die both without the precious treasure. Both terrible and beautiful, dragon magic is still strong today. So many films and games still mention dragons, and the motif appears on flags, for sports teams, and in popular culture everywhere. More likely now than ever, dragons are increasingly seen as benevolent, intelligent, and often wronged by humans. Plant companion, orchid, and crystal companion, emerald, or typically gold. So emerald and or gold. I would say work with those energies. If you have a little chunk of emerald, if not, you can get one very, very cheap off Amazon, or go to like a crystal shop, a mom and pop, or East Meets West, or just use some gold. And just, wear it on you, carry it on you, put a little piece between your mattress and your bed. You could look into ways to work with crystals, but that will be your crystal energy for the next 2 weeks to a month. Now, Miss Akira, I'm seeing some betrayal here. Okay, so I feel like in the next couple of weeks, you already have this understanding that things may not be as they appear. So having a suspicion that your best friend is lying to you about something, that your significant other isn't telling the whole truth about something, somebody is being dishonest somewhere. And I feel like you being who you are, you kind of already know this, but you don't know it, right? You don't have facts. You don't have photographic evidence, right? You don't have tangible proof. And I say this a lot. So if y'all are in here all the time, bear with me because Miss Kira really needs to hear this. Your intuition is enough. But I feel like a lot of us, myself included, like, for example, just say I thought my husband was cheating on me, right? I don't, by the way. But if I did, I wouldn't feel comfortable. I would now, but I wouldn't have felt comfortable going up to him and being like, I know you're cheating. Because he would be like, right, how do you know? Like, prove it. You're crazy. I can't prove it because my instinct and intuition are what's telling me that this is happening. And you know where your instinct and intuition is? Your spirit team and your guides. That's how they energetically kind of hit you and snap you back into reality. Your conscience, that's your spirit team telling you which way to go, what decisions to make, pointing out red flags. In the next couple of weeks, you're going to have this moment, maybe a few, where you really want to call someone out for something. Okay, but you know that they're not going to admit it. Yeah, no, I don't think that, your husband's cheating. I was using that as an example. Somebody is being very dishonest with you, and I feel like you already know, but I feel like it's going to come out. You're not going to have to confront this person without having facts or evidence. You're not going to have to say anything. This person or these people, could be more than one, but I definitely see one main person. They're going to just expose themselves, right? And it's not going to come as such a shock to you because you already knew. But I feel like it's still going to be either really, it's really going to anger you, or you're going to be really hurt by it. There's a lot of intense emotion here when you finally come to the realization that you've been right all along, or that you've been right for a while. The message here is more about value for you than treasure, right? What do you value more? Your dignity and self-respect, or having someone who doesn't treat you very well and has been deceiving you for X amount of time like you? We're such people pleasers, and I definitely include myself in this. You can ask Ghost Dragons. Like, I get so just literally numb by the thought of somebody not liking me in real life, right? That I will go way out of my way out on a limb. I will make myself so incredibly uncomfortable just so that someone else who I barely know and don't like anyway doesn't think poorly of me, right? And I feel like you've kind of been doing that dance for a long time, and now you're going to have to make a decision. Are you going to put your foot down and let this person know that you knew all along and you no longer want them into your life? I feel like this person's going to be very, very apologetic, but they're apologetic that they got caught. I don't care how close you are to this person. They purposely lied, and not with your best interest in mind, with their best interest in mind. Okay. Please don't be deceived. Don't be breadcrumbed back into whatever this is. They willingly and knowingly hid something from you, took something from you. This is a really bad situation. And I feel like you're just waiting for some proof that you can go to them with. Like, but also at the same time, you're like trying to convince yourself that, what's up, Black Dragon, that okay, well, maybe it's not true, because you really want to see the best in people. Like almost all of us in here, if not all of us, we look at the light that people have within them, and we never pay any attention to whether or not they're working with it before befriending them or getting into relationships with them. And, that's on us, but we can't help it. Kira, I don't want to see you snapping, screaming, hollering, yelling, but I also don't want to see you just go like, oh, it's fine, whatever. Like, no, like, this person needs to know the damage they cause, even if it's just on an emotional level. And if you have to vent to someone you're close with, your husband, your best friend, do not hold this inside. Like I said to Aunt Edna, you could become physically ill. People get diseases like cancers because of holding things like this in and never letting it out, just always saying, oh, that's fine. I talk about it all the time. Bye, Salvador, where in my family, and this is no shade on anyone, it's how I've conditioned people to be and kind of how they've conditioned me to be, where if somebody does something devastating to me that rips my life apart, I'm told, remember forgiveness. But if I do the smallest thing on accident and someone gets mad, I'm told, you were wrong. You have to apologize, right? It's never anyone going like, you really effed up with Gemma. Like, you should be, no, like, it's always me that has to carry that burden. But in a way, I'm okay with it because I feel like I vibrate a lot higher than a lot of the people around me. Not that I'm better than them, but do you know what I mean? So you really have to decide in the next couple of weeks how you're going to deal with this. And I'm going to say that according to your team and just the vibe I'm getting, it would be a really bad idea to allow this person to continue to be in your life. You're going to have to cut someone off, and it's going to be hard for you to do. And you're going to want to make excuses for them, maybe, or there could be someone around you, maybe making excuses for them. You've got to evaluate several different relationships in the next few weeks. Just know at the end of the day, your guide's got you. It'll come in, I promise, where you're going to get this little intuitive hit like, oh my gosh, this must be what Gemma was talking about. Trust me, somebody is keeping something from you, and you're going to notice it before anyone else does and before the person reveals themselves or it's revealed. The first inkling you have that is genuinely coming from your instinct and intuition, just know that you are on point 100%. I haven't been wrong in 4 years. Trust me, it's coming, because it's not me, it's your team, right? If it was just me guessing or giving you my opinions, I'd be all over the place all the time. Not like I am all over the place. Who's next? Julie girl? Jules, are you still here?
Jules is next, and Melissa are next too, and then Black Dragon, and you're done. All that's left is people.
Bat Mom, Smoochie, and then the timestamps.
Yep.
Maybe we'll have a quick night.
Okay.
Keep a dragon eye on it. Thank you so much, Miss Kira. I'm so glad you made it. Guys, don't forget support, not just you, Kira. It just popped into my head. Support the YouTube shorts. I'm on TikTok doing kind of a lot over there. On Instagram doing a little bit. Snapchat doing a little bit. X doing even littler. And Instagram. Okay, I'm doing multiple platforms now. I'm not monetized on anything but YouTube, but I'm trying to get there. So please, if you have those platforms, go out and support me. It's either Gemma Jade or Gemma Jade YT, all across platforms. A lot of it is reposting the same thing on multiple different platforms, but some of it is original stuff. So please do that. Donate when and if you can. Purchase my books. All of that info is in the description box. Did you really, Anna? That is awesome. I knew it. I saw it.
Go ahead and do Nicole.
I saw found money. Oh, I'm so happy. All right, Nicole, I'm using Dark Goddesses, the new one.
Got to check today. Papa can use some new shoes.
I just spent almost my entire paycheck because YouTube only pays once a month. Any money you guys give through YouTube in these streams, I get the following month on the 21st. I spent most of it on groceries. I saved as much as I could, though, for like, you know, streaming services I'm paying for, things like that. Yes, that was so amazing. So, Melissa Nicole, this is Dark Goddesses. It's a new deck. It's not this one. It's this one. They're not the same. They're a little different. They are about the same goddesses, but obviously different cards, different energy. Demeter, the card of abundance. Melissa, your energy is very sad right now, and I'm sorry. I just want to give you a hug. Just like exhausted, overwhelmed. You know, much love to you, sweetie. All right. Melissa, Demeter calls you to appreciate the abundance that surrounds you. Don't focus solely on material wealth, but instead the abundance of what brings happiness and fulfillment to you and your family and loved ones. Bask in love, nature, art, and good food. Plant seeds of gratitude and generosity in your life, and you will reap a bountiful harvest. Sharing your prosperity with others will only multiply and spread that joy. So I know you're not feeling maybe very joyful at this moment, but I do feel like there are lots of areas of your life that could really be that can really see you being uplifted and even celebrated by people if you would just handle the one, right? And I'm not saying just handle it. I know that that's not possible. What I will say, though, is I stand by the statement that it will end in violence and to your detriment if you don't. What the universe is saying is while you're going through all of this, especially in the next couple of weeks, really try to cling to the people in your life that actually care, the things in your life that make you happy, and doing things that make you proud of you, right? Even if nobody else is saying that they are, it's finding that pride and confidence in yourself, not in a sinful way. Like, you know, when I bring up narcissism to my narcissist, he calls me a narcissist and says, I love looking at myself. Like, yeah, I weighed 86 pounds and was dying, 10 years ago. I like the way I look now, but that's not really what narcissism is, right? Melissa, I feel like you have to find in the next couple of weeks everything that you can to keep you focused and motivated, because your destination has to eventually be the door, or keeping this person out for good, and not just out of your life, but where you're not making decisions based on how they're going to act, react, want, think, need, feel. Like, they have got to be fully gone. And I know you're trying. I'm not judging you or getting on you about it. I understand more than you probably would even realize. But you have to start making decisions based on how the decisions make Melissa feel, not what's my abuser going to think. Excuse me. And I know sometimes you kind of have to think about what he's going to think because he would physically harm you. But there are things you can still have to yourself, right? He can't take. What can he take from you? Your spirit, what's on the inside, you know? I feel like you're slowly putting those pieces back together. And once you feel enough like yourself, that's when this is really going to get to the point where you guys are no longer together. In the next 2 weeks, I want you to really focus on making decisions based on what you want, need, think, feel, desire, how you feel about the decisions you're making, and trying really hard. It's not going to be 100% possible every single time, but at least in some cases, in some areas of your life, not worrying about anything about him. Imagine making a decision and not thinking, how is so-and-so going to think? What's he going to think? How's he going to feel? How's he going to react to this? Just going for it. And again, I understand the threat of physical violence. I do. But eventually, you've got to slowly break out. Make small decisions for yourself, girl. Little things. And try as best you can to surround yourself with people who are not going to co-sign his BS. You know? Who are willing to help in any way they can, even if they can't offer you a place to stay. They can tell you, you know, your hair looks great like that if you just cut it, or heck yes, girl, rock that skirt. You look amazing. You need to gain back your self-confidence, and constantly walking on eggshells, worrying if someone's going to yell at you, scream at you, run you down, or even beat you up if you make the wrong decision for yourself as a grown-ass adult. Honey. And I don't know why I'm seeing in the next 2 weeks how important this is, but it's really being stressed to me. Like, really, they're in my face. Make your own decisions in every possible area that you can. Okay, please. You're going to automatically go to him, like considering him in your brain. Try to not. Again, unless it's something that's going to cause violence, you know, you don't want that. If you got to go along to get along, that's fine. But really try, even if it's the simplest thing, like what you're eating for dinner or how you cook your steak. Like, these little things are going to give you the tiniest bit more confidence until eventually they all build up and you're there. All right. Yeah, seriously.
Okay, here's the deal. Is Jules here? She hasn't come back yet. If she hasn't come back yet, any of the people that you called off just a little bit, you can go ahead and give a reading for it, because other than Black Dragon, who likes to be last before we do timestamps, that's it.
All right, until Jules comes back, I'm going to do Bat Mom and Smoochie, and then I'll text my mom, see where she's at. You're welcome, okay. Melissa.
You're welcome, dear.
Miss Bat Mom, let's see. Let's use Dark Light.
You hear Bat Mom?
She said she's working, but listening, so.
Okay, cool.
Blessings. Card number 38, Bat Mom. Prayers heard. Bat Mom, you were right to have faith, for your prayers have been heard. I am the fairy of blessings, and I come to you with my magical gem to tell you that things will be easier from now on. I will watch over you and protect you. I will make sure that no one nor nothing can hurt you. In exchange, please welcome me by counting the blessings you already have in your life. Connect yourself to what you have, not what you lack. Hear my little wings flying around? Just open your soul even more to the blessings. Just open your soul to even more blessings coming your way. Keywords are faith, sweet presence, counting blessings, feeling of abundance, protection, and support. Your affirmation: I count my blessings and I forget what's missing. I follow my faith and learn to welcome any event as a true blessing in my life. So again, Bat Mom, we're talking here in the next couple of weeks about something not coming to form as you expected it to, as you worked really hard for it to. right? Something is not going as planned. The universe is saying this is a blessing in disguise, even though you're thinking probably there's no way, nothing good can come of this. And the universe says, are you sure about that? And then within a couple of months, you're going to be like, wow, if that crazy thing didn't happen a few months ago, none of this would be possible. I'm also seeing some extra, like I've been saying to Aunt Anna, like some little found money. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you play the lottery. I'm not saying millions, but there are going to be a few extra bucks that the universe wants you to look at as a blessing, as a gift from it. Okay. In the next couple of weeks too, Batmom, please stop focusing, if you can, or to the best of your ability, on everything that you're doing wrong according to other people. Okay. You're doing way too much for way too many people for anyone to be complaining. Ghost, please write this time down just in case she's not here, but I think she said she was listening. Batmom, I feel like you're really going to have to, in the next couple of weeks, I got a knot in my hair, sorry, start picking and choosing how much energy you give to other people, okay? Because you're giving so much that you're leaving none for yourself. And I know some of us as mothers and women and grandmothers, we kind of, that's just what we do. But you're at a point in your life where who's giving to you? Who's filling you up? Who's filling your cup? Batmom. And I feel a lot of the misery in your life, even if there's only a little bit here and there, it's coming from you feeling unappreciated, taken for granted, taken advantage of, not respected, disrespected, and kind of fearful of the future. In the next couple of weeks, try to focus only on positive things, and things that are negative that happen, try to take them to their happiest ending, right? So like, okay, this didn't work out and this is going to be the fallout from this, but in the long run, how can I make this work for me? Even if what's actually happening isn't aren't things that you can turn for the better, it's a good way to train your mind to start seeing only the blessing in things, even the things that are not seemingly blessings at all. I hope that makes sense. Also, if someone is not appreciating you, stop giving them your energy. Stop giving so much of your energy and pour it back into yourself. I know these things are said all the time, and I know that it's very, very hard to do, particularly when we're in toxic situations or dealing with toxic people or narcissists. But Batmom, you have to believe you deserve much better before anyone else is going to, and before you believe it, right? Or before things get better, I should say. Michigan UFO! Ooh, risotto. I sent Rick D his personal that he won. I sent it to him today. So I'm happy about that. Miss Smoochie girl, what say you? Hey, that's okay. Nothing wrong with out of a box. Wayne and Michelle, if you want readings, let us know, because we're going to end in a few minutes. We have plenty of time, that's for sure. All right. Smoochie, I'm using Divine Circus. We will timestamp Jules if she doesn't come back in. She got her box today, and the readings are part of kind of the package she paid for. So, Red Countess, card number 21. So, Wayne, somebody on TikTok called me a CUNT today. Isn't that fun? TikTok.
Because they weren't close, you would have pulled out the shank.
You and that shank. I was so shocked. I was shocked. But you know what? It's helping me get better with dealing with like the negative comments. I think as a YouTube creator yourself, I'm sure you guys have gotten your share of trolls, but this one was like straight out, you are a CUNT. It's like, yeah, I just deleted their comment. I didn't even bother reporting them because TikTok doesn't care. That's one of the really great things about it, but also one of the crappy things about it when you're on the receiving end of someone's wrath. All right, Miss Smoochie, there is something that you felt, sensed, heard, or realized this truth more than once. Even if others see or feel differently, you just know what you know, even if you don't quite know how you know it. And Kara, this is kind of what I was saying to you, for as confusing as that sounds. Definitely a troll, Sandra. Sandra, I almost forgot about you. You can be next, by the way. When the Red Countess appears, she's reminding you of what you know, no matter how convincingly someone or even you might be able to talk you out of it for a little while. The truth always returns to be dealt with eventually. This is not meant to be a warning. It's meant to be a reassurance, an encouragement to be bold and to always act on what you feel. I'm just still shocked. Smoochie, give your truths value. Hold your feelings and insights in high enough esteem to pay attention to them, to give yourself time to process what you think, feel, and sense. Know that they are worth acting on, even if that action means to just trust more and stop worrying. Yeah, and yeah. Yes. In their mom's dirty undies, no less. Smoochie, if you can't figure out what your inner truths are, or you feel confused by conflicting thoughts and feelings torn between head and heart, then you are in a state of information overload. You need to switch off, discharge some excess mental and emotional energy, and take a break. If a device was overheating, you'd switch it off, let it cool down, lest it burst into flames beyond repair, right? Treat your brain, your nervous system, your body, and your mind with the same good sense. Smoochie girl, you've got to unplug for at least a few minutes. Give yourself some time out from the crazy noise and constant distractions of the world so you can get in touch with what's true to you and for you. If you have a vision or feeling about someone or something you're uncertain about, the Red Countess confirms the accuracy of your insight. Trust yourself and then choose to act from your truth. This is kind of what I was saying to Kira, Smoochie, but on a much bigger scale. Okay? This is you pretending not to see something, pretending not to know something, pretending for so long that I don't even think you realize how this is not only emotionally, mentally affecting you, which you may have a firm grasp on, but physically as well. Okay. I feel like you've tried to maybe talk about this with someone you trusted and they were like, you're crazy, or, there's no way. Yes, there is a way, and no, you're not crazy. What you think is happening is absolutely happening, and it's not something to sit around and just take anymore. You've got to bring it up with the person and or people directly involved. And it doesn't matter what the fallout is, because you're not the one at fault. It's not your fault you didn't be quiet about whatever this disrespect or bad thing is. You didn't cause it. You've kept quiet about it, giving the other people or person the benefit of the doubt to be able to come and tell the truth or talk to you about whatever this is. But instead, they wanted to act like little kids, a petulant children, or whatever they're doing, and keep it from you, whispering behind your back, talking crap behind your back. I feel like these people are grown. You're not dealing with children or this person. There is someone who is literally, and I hate saying this because I feel the pain that your heart feels when you think of this and know this to be true. And it makes me want to just break down. This person is literally like using you. And it's like, that they are, but you don't want it to be true, to the point where you're not allowing yourself to accept it. But the fact of the matter is, this toxicity, I feel like it's very close to you, meaning you have to deal with it and feel it all of the time. And I'm just going to throw this out there one more time, not towards anyone. Just because someone's sick and or dying does not mean you have to give away your life to take care of them if they treat you like crap and disrespect you. That's all I'm saying. Someone here is really, really treating you wrong, and they're taking advantage of the fact that, number one, you have a kind heart, and number two, you're a little kooky sometimes, and sometimes you say and do crazy things. So when you start talking about this, people are going to be like, that's just smooch. But no, you're being serious, right? Find someone in your life that you can really talk about your feelings with, okay? Who will respect you enough to treat you with dignity and respect as you're going through telling you have to talk about this. I feel like to bring it up with the person is not going to really do anything, because they're just going to lie and gaslight you anyway. but you have the right to think what you think and feel what you feel, and nobody else has to understand why, although it's very glaringly obvious. Okay, you're not the only person who sees what's being done to you. Other people see it. Some people are concerned about it, but nobody wants to approach you with it. Smoochie, you've got to, well, you don't have to. I can't say you've got to, but from what the universe is showing me, what you should what you should be doing maybe in the next couple of weeks is unplugging from like social media and stuff, even if it's just for a few minutes a day, and focusing on doing something that Smoochie likes and wants to do. Okay. And it not involving substances. All right. Just you know, getting back to the basics of who you are instead of being, you know, wife, mother, grandmother, friend, employer, boss, client. Like we're all these different roles every day. And I feel like you have lost yourself. Even from when I first met you a few years ago, your brightness has dimmed so much, and that's not shade on you. It's sad because you're a beautiful, bright spirit, and you've just been so beaten down with toxicity that you're not the same spirit anymore. The werewolf book. So, Smoochie, I don't think any of this is penetrating right now, but if you go back and listen, I hope that you do. Try to separate yourself from all the roles you have to play in life and the roles that you do play, and get to being alone with you. And that's going to suck, and it's going to hurt, and you're going to hate it, but you need to reconnect with yourself and figure out who you are and where you're going quickly, because you're losing yourself. You've lost yourself. And now the only thing you are to Smoochie is what he says you are, she says you are, they say you are. You don't even know who you really are anymore. That's a problem. Michigan UFO says, Gemma Jade, so many people don't know who they are. They've set their lives based on what other people expect or what they think people expect of them. It's a bad level of codependence. Yeah, I know. It took me years to pull myself out of it. And I still have issues with a lot of people with standing up for myself. Divine Timing. What's up, y'all? Thanks for coming in. Let's do Sandra Heath, Divine Timing. If you'd like a reading, they're $2 to my PayPal or Cash App. $4 through YouTube, because YouTube takes half, or you could just hang out and spend some time with us. Sandra, I'm going to use Aether Creatures for you. Yeah, it's a long time. It took me a long time, me personally, to train my mind to understand that I don't have to take on being what everyone says that I am, right? Or being who someone thinks I should be. I'm just going to be me, and, you know, the people who need me in their life will gravitate towards me, and the people who don't won't, and that's perfectly okay. I don't have to be for everybody, you know? And I struggle with that a lot, to my own personal detriment sometimes. Miss Pixie, lots and lots of prayers. I'm so sorry to hear it. No problem. Please go relax. So I got invited to a birthday party. I'll tell you guys this story really quick. Like 2 months ago, I got invited to this birthday party of one of the other moms. You know how I'm. Oh, I love it, Black Dragon. Thank you. So Divine Timing, all you have to do is let me know that you donated the $2. If you absolutely can't, then I'll read for you after everyone's done, which we're finishing up now. But if you can, go ahead and donate. Let us know. Otherwise, just hang out, and I'll call your name in the next couple turns, because we're about to end anyway. So basically just hang out. You're automatically added in. Okay, so I got invited, and this is a mom that her kids do not go to my son's school. She's the only one out of the other 4 moms I hang out with. There's 5 of us. She's kind of one of the outsiders that I met through another one of the moms. And I don't think she really likes me. I'll be honest, because she's one of those people, every time I walk into the room, she's like, Gemma, I love you so much. You know, cheers to Gemma. Like, I feel like, so anyway, she's invited me to events, and I've had to cancel several times. Once RJ got sick, once I got sick, and they were for legitimate reasons. But she said to one of our other friends, one of our other moms, she messaged her and said, I know you cancel my events all the time, to the other mom, because you don't like me. So when I heard that, I was like, oh gosh, when I found out my mom's bingo party was the same day as the birthday party that I RSVP'd to. I was so afraid to tell her, look, something else came up, but I'm sending my husband and my son. It's a kid's birthday party. The kid's going. Because I was afraid she was going to think I don't like her, or that I was canceling for other reasons other than something legitimate. So I just didn't tell her anything. I literally made it so much worse on myself by just not addressing the situation, because I was so afraid that this woman I barely know was going to think maybe I don't like her, even though that's not true. Right? And this is what we do to ourselves. Black Dragon, thank you. Okay, so if anyone couldn't donate, your reading is covered, so don't worry about it. Divine timing, I hope you're still here. Just hang out. Let me read for Sandra, then it will be your turn. I appreciate it, guys. I only get paid through donation. I don't get anything else really, so that's kind of why I push it so hard. But you guys know I never turn anyone away. So divine timing, I hope you're still here. Oh, okay, good. You're here. Oh, like, people usually get scared away, and I'm always like, you don't absolutely have to. It's like kind of a, I'd appreciate it, but it's all right. It's a gift, and I try to give it as freely as I can. So just hang out. You'll be next. Sandra, card number 77, the Quiley. Well, Smoochie, I mean, it's kind of like what you do about it, though, right? It's great that you're aware of it, but what do you do about it now? Even more reason for you to want to pour into yourself. So many light workers have that issue, that we just cannot physically be honest with ourselves about how much we need, right? Giving everyone so much. That's okay. Divine timing. Don't worry about it. Next time you come in. YouTube's kind of weird sometimes. You figure it out next time. We're having an early night anyway. So again, it's not like, I'm not a schnazi about it. Sorry, I do need my nicotine. All right. Sandra, when Quiley appears to you right side up, make your decisions on a situation or generally in your life based on what you do want instead of what you don't want. As a person, you are experiencing and sorting through the contrast of positive and negative, wanted and unwanted all day long. If space and time and therefore movement is added to the equation, you will naturally go toward the things that you want and away from those that you don't. But a little known fact is that experiencing the unwanted is meant to crystallize what you do want to think and say and have and do and create in your life. In this way, the negative or unwanted is meant to serve as a necessary part of your personal expansion. Are you allowing it to do this? If Quiley has appeared to you right side up, you may be letting what you don't want to control your life. Pushing against what is unwanted and trying to avoid the unwanted is a very different thing than going in the direction you do want to go. Look at your life and relationships and ask yourself this question. Am I doing the things I'm doing to avoid a consequence, or am I doing them because I want to? We were just talking about this. You may argue that these things are two sides of the same coin, but really they are two different directions on a compass completely. For example, are you saving money in your account because you want to feel financially free or because you want to avoid being poor? Are you staying in a relationship because you want to be with that person, or are you staying with them because of how scary a breakup might be? Remember that you may do something at one time because you really want to, and you may do that same thing at another time because you want to avoid a consequence. The reason that it's so important to make your decisions in this situation based on what you do want is that you will think different thoughts, make different decisions, and take different actions if you are doing things just to avoid the unwanted. In this situation or in your life in general, become clear about what you do not want, Sandra. What is the consequence you are trying to avoid or fight against? Knowing that, what does that indicate that you powerfully want instead? If you pivoted towards those things, what could you think and say and decide and do that would bring you in the direction of what you want instead? So generally, this is amazing advice, okay? Mom, we got one more after this before you, all right? This is amazing advice, right? Instead of focusing on the negative, and this was a great way to put this. I cannot stand Teal Swan, the author of this deck, although I doubt she wrote it herself, but this is a great card. I don't think I've ever pulled it before, and I'm very impressed with the advice. It's definitely something that resonates very deeply with me. Sandra, I'm going to get specific, but generally in your life, try to start focusing on the positives of the things you're doing instead of the negatives. And if you can't see a positive, ask yourself why you're doing it. Now, there is one situation in particular that I feel like you have been kind of roped into here. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks. And that's good because then you have the opportunity to avoid it. I feel like there's something in your life where you're going through the motions. Okay, you're not even really there. Now, a lot of people do this like with work. This is something much more important than that, though. This is like something you absolutely either do not want to do, didn't want to do, don't agree with, but there you are anyway because you don't want someone to be mad at you, or because you don't want someone to think poorly of you, or because there is some sort of fear here. And let me tell you, when I really stop and think about my life, I find that I'm more afraid of success than I am of failure. Make that make sense. But that's what I'm being shown here for you, Sandra. It's like, what are you so afraid of from just being yourself? Why do you feel like you have to fit into everyone else's boxes and molds? Right? Like having to put on one mask when you're with this person, another mask to put on this person when you're with this person. Like, it's so freeing to just be like, this is who I am, and allow the right people to gravitate toward and away from you. You don't have to be everyone's best friend. And trust me, I would be a hypocrite if I, Gemma, were giving you this advice, because I just told you guys a story where I'm in the exact same thing personally. And that's not the only thing I'm dealing with in this realm. Sandra, in the next couple of weeks, it's important that you are very honest with not just everyone around you, but with yourself about what you want to do and why, not what you don't want to do. And this isn't about being a yes, ma'am, by saying yes, yes, yes to everything to please everyone. This is about doing things for the right reasons. Not even necessarily because the reason feels right, but because you're gaining something from it. And that sounds selfish, but it's not selfish to want reciprocity of energy, to want someone to reciprocate what you're putting out, to want to return on your investment, to want to gain or interest on something, right? Sandra, you are not, this is important, and I don't know where it's coming from, but I'm hearing you are not being unreasonable. You are not being irrational. You're not crazy. Whatever this is that you're asking for from this person or these people is a very, very small thing. And I feel like if you would just step outside of the box these people have put you in and be truly yourself in the next 2 weeks, you're probably going to lose a lot of friends, and some relationships are going to be damaged, but it's for the better. Those people exiting just makes more room for the universe to push more people through the entrance, okay? You deserve way better than you're allowing for yourself, because you're allowing everyone else to dictate your decisions based on how they're going to think, what they're going to say, how they're going to feel, what you think they want. Like, no, it needs to be about Sandra. And this has come up many times already tonight. It's our theme. All right, divine timing, and then my beautiful mother. So divine timing, I'm going to use myths and mermaids. Mom, are you home or are you at Carol's? I took RJ for dinner tonight. He ate a whole order at Applebee's. A whole order, I see you, Divine, of chicken tenders and fries, like every fry. Then he ate an entire adult size lava cake with ice cream. But he ate all his food. I concur. Good. I'm glad. And I hope that we can all start training our minds. It takes a long time. We can start training our minds to do what's best for us and like want the best for ourselves like we do for everyone else. So many of us are whipping boys or whipping girls for people, and we're perfectly okay with it because it's what we're used to. It's how we were told we're supposed to be, eating like a grown man. Well, he is like a 4 foot tall 6-year-old. He's up to my shoulders and I'm 5'7". So all right, divine timing. What do I need to hear most for this coming weekend? All right, so I normally do it in like a 2-week period, but I will try my very best with the one card to focus on this weekend, all right? So let's see what comes up here. He didn't get sick or nothing, and he's like, I just want to make you happy. I'm like, you do not have to clear your plate to make me happy. I love to see you clear your plate, but Don't ever stuff yourself full to make mommy happy.
Yeah,
like
be
that.
glad he's picky now, because when he gets out of that picky phase, he's gonna eat everything inside.
I hope he does. He's so freaking picky. Okay. Divine timing, you got the Storm Chaser, card number 29, in the reverse shadow position, which isn't always a bad thing. A lovely young mermaid sits upon the sea, awaiting an electrical storm. Unafraid, she welcomes the energy and excitement it will provide, prepared to harness it and relish in its power. She rides atop the waves, expectant and yet relaxed. The antithesis of the divination is seeking out your inspiration. You may experience a lack of motivation or inspiration. Go find it. Bask in the sun, walk in nature, read good books, or travel to new places. Look for the spark that is missing in your life. Pursue it aggressively, and it will be yours. One of the things my mentor told me, Sandra, or Divine Timing, I'm sorry, I was reading Sandra's chat. One of the things my mentor told me, Divine, is it always stuck with me, and I think it pertains to this situation. He told me, be audacious about your dreams. Have the audacity to go after what you want. And if people look at you like you're crazy, or they look at you like there's something wrong with you, or like you're audacious, they can look at you that way while you travel all the way to the bank, right? While you cash those checks. I feel like you've not only kind of lost motivation in some area, this could be like an overall motivation, okay? Where you just don't know which way to go anymore. But I'm going to tell you, with the theme of what we've been talking about tonight, it kind of fits right in perfectly. I'm going to tell you generally, and then I'm going to get to your weekend specifically. I know you said 2 weeks is okay, but I got a little on your weekend. So generally in your life, I feel like, just like I was talking to Sandra about, and just like so many of us, myself included, you have made in your life a lot of major decisions based on what you thought other people wanted you to do. You know, the decisions you felt would best please most of the people around you, rather than doing what you want it to do. Okay. The universe, your team, they really want you to try to first think of what you really want deep down inside and how you can go about getting it. Is it reasonable to believe that you can have whatever this is at this time? Not how can you go about convincing others that this is what you need, right? You are a grown adult. You don't have to convince anybody that you should have what you want, as long as you're capable of going to get it, and you totally are. All right. Now, as far as this weekend, I just feel like there's an opportunity here, whether you create it yourself or it's coming in, where you can just unplug. I feel like there's electrical kind of interference here, where you're spending a lot of time. And if it's not a lot, it's like whatever time you are spending is affecting you a lot more lately, because you're feeling a little bit lower vibrational. The time spent online, I just feel like you could be being zapped, and I'm trying to see how I should explain this. So it's like, I want to start and go for a walk every morning, right? But then I get distracted by like finding YouTube shorts to remix, and like, that's my job, so I'm going to do that. Like, I feel like this is what's happening. It's like you wake up with this clear day that you want to have, and it all goes awry from the moment you wake up. So here's what I'm seeing. Here's what was suggested to me from my spirit guides that I feel like you may benefit from. When you wake up in the morning, give yourself an hour before you touch or look at your phone. And in that hour, do something for you. It could be just sitting, staring at the wall while drinking a cup of coffee. You need time to re-energize. You are completely and totally zapped. Okay. And even if you do spend a lot of time lying in bed, or it's like you're not regenerating, this weekend would be the perfect opportunity. Again, I don't know if you have an opportunity to get out and do something, or if the universe wants you to create one, for you to just spend some time with divine. I also see that some invitation to something on social media, I don't know if it's specifically for this weekend, but it's in the coming couple of weeks, is probably not the best idea. I feel like whoever's inviting you to this, there's either going to be someone there that you're uncomfortable with, or that you have conflict with. Mommy, you're next. But I feel like you're going to be like, you're going to want to go because of course you want to show up, right? You don't want people to think badly of you, or this is just another case of you really needing to get back to the basics of yourself in your own life. This weekend, I do feel like you should take opportunities to be around people who make you feel good, who build you up. If you have an opportunity to get out into nature, even better. I really do see that reinvigorating you. At the end of the day, though, this weekend specifically, spend as little time on your phone as possible, because I do feel like your team is trying to get some information to you through download and you are just not receiving it because you are immediately electronically connected. Be careful of invitations this weekend, not for this weekend. Again, an invitation that's possibly coming in this weekend or in the next week, for several weeks ahead. I would steer clear of whatever this is. Okay. I feel like though you might want to go to support the person inviting you, there's going to be some sort of conflict there. Something, if someone makes you uncomfortable, you should never put yourself around them unless you absolutely have to. And even then, as little as possible. You have the right to be around who you want and not be around who you don't. And if there's uncomfortable energy, your spirit doesn't sit right around someone, you have the right to say that and to live your life in that. Okay. All right, Mom, I'm going to use Fairy Tale Oracle. Mom, you didn't have to wait so long, You could have said at any time and I would have read for you. You're welcome. Thank you. Mom, you got the Little Mermaid, the card of sacrifice. Wow. Just wow. All right, Mom. What's up, Kelly? Mom, I will prepare a potion for you with which you must swim to land tomorrow before sunrise and sit down on the shore and drink it. Your tail will then disappear and shrink up into what mankind calls legs, and you will feel great pain as if a sword were passing through you. You will still have that same floating gracefulness of movement, but at every step you take, it will feel as if you were treading upon sharp knives, and the blood must flow. If you will bear all of this, I will help you. When this card comes to you, Mom, there's every chance you're considering making an enormous sacrifice. Firstly, you're restricting your true voice and have given up speaking from the heart about what you truly feel in order to seem more acceptable to others. Oh my God. Or to avoid conflict. Secondly, you have given up the depth of your emotions and are trying to do your best to fit into an environment that is enormously uncomfortable for you. It's almost painful, and you're certainly feeling heavy. Kelly, you're next. I think I'm going to call it at that point just because I am tired and there's not that many people in here. And awkward. Mom, this card asks you to consider just why you are sacrificing so much of your true self for this chance at belonging or possibly a chance at love. This card can also come forth to speak with you when you are considering making changes to your face or body via surgery, which I know you're not. You don't even wear makeup. There's so much work for you to do on self-acceptance and to understand that the path you are currently taking that involves so much self-sacrificing will not lead to a happy ending, but to pain, suffering, and the extinguishing of your spirit. Please consider the changes you're making and why you're making them rather than falling deeply into a kind of trance or desire. No one has asked you for you to make these changes. It's your own choice and your own doing. And if you're to make them, they must be for your good, Mom, not because you want to win someone else's approval. Denying your heritage, your own personal talents and skills, and your beautiful abilities will not make you more lovable. It will only lead to pain and ultimately perhaps to some pity, but it can never win you love. Please reconsider now this road of sacrifice and understand that you can become a truly wonderful being by most being your own true self. There's magic, unnatural magic, which may bring to you what you wish for, but it will come at far too great a cost to even consider it. Please heed the Little Mermaid's message, Mom. Don't go further into this. Return to your true self and become who you are for your own self and your own soul's sake. You are sacrificing too much for love and need to begin again to speak your truth. Avoid bargains that ask for more than they give over the long term. Mom, what this card is talking about is after basically spending most of your life in a relationship or situations, because I don't want to get too specific, where someone else had a lot of control over what you did, what you said, even if they couldn't control what you thought or felt. You were in a bad spot for a long time. And I feel like you were finally set free from that. And we even talked about it. We're like, wow, this is devastating, but at the same time, you are free. You're free to do what you want, when you want, with whom you want. And now I feel like this idea of love has been activated in you, this idea of real love, okay? Of someone giving you exactly what you're putting in. The problem is it's fake. It's someone playing a role, and you know this because the person's mask slips all the time, or when you were speaking to them, it did, right? Making threats. Mom, I feel like you just have, in the next few weeks, what you should really try to do is, number one, don't let anyone like convince you that something's good for you when you know deep down inside that it's absolutely not. Number one, don't go along to get along. Don't be okay. Don't say you're okay with something just to kind of like not make any waves. You are like that a lot of the time. Not with most people, but with certain people, you will kind of just like, whatever, I'm not going to say anything because you don't want the conflict and it's not like worth it for you. But the problem is, the more you do that, the more this person or these people get used to you just going along with their mess and their BS. And then they start to treat you as, you know what I mean? As though you don't have an opinion anyway. Number two, this idea of love that's been awakened to you is wonderful and beautiful, but you have to stop seeking it from a person or people who have already shown you they're not capable of giving it, right? You don't want to go backwards into the same trap you were in forever that you just got free from. And I'm telling you, you will end up back there. Worse this time. Way worse. I feel like if you can detach from this toxic situation fully and completely, and if you can start making kind of more decisions based on what you want and how you feel, other than just going along with what everyone else is doing, you will find your romantic other. And I know you're like, I'm not looking for that. That's the exact point. You're not looking for it. You're just learning and growing and changing in yourself, and love is going to be right there for you. This particular situation you've been dealing with recently, even though I know you're not dealing with it anymore, it had to happen so that you can learn to call out red flags and get away from them. Because in past relationships, you did not. I get that from you, by the way. I never call out red flags. Neither did you. You took everyone at their goodness, the good deeds they did when they were kind, and the honeymoon phases, and the things they did for you and promised you. And you played your role well, but there was abuse and neglect and intolerance of who you were as a human being in those relationships, probably all of them. Now that you know who you are and how free life can be, don't ever put yourself back in a situation where you're going to be entrapped again. If someone shows you who they are, believe them. And definitely stay away from, just for the next 2 weeks, not indefinitely or forever, but in the next 2 weeks, stay away from talking to people over the internet that aren't like people, like meeting people on the internet. Just for the next 2 weeks, I don't think it's a good idea. I think someone is trying to set you up and trap you by sending other people to try to talk to you to see how you're going to react and respond. All right, we have two more people. Two more people. Black Dragon, Nomeo, if you want one, and then I am calling it. I'm tired, and like I said, it's been a slow night. So we're going to do Kelly, Baby Dragon, Black Dragon, and then my 3 timestamps.
Sounds awesome. You're the
all right. Miss Kelly, I'm going to use Moonology. Mom, I just feel like there's a risk of you being coerced into ignoring red flags because you don't want to be insulting. You don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. You don't want to be like, actually, I know you're a liar and I don't want you in my life anymore. You're allowing, I think, some loneliness and some old feelings that got stirred up in you that you haven't felt in so long to guide you possibly into the arms of anyone offering love at this point, not in a sexual way, just companionship, that relationship. You were really gaslit. But I'm glad that you saw things for what they were. And now you can healthily move on. And even more quickly, if something like that were to happen again, you just call it out. You don't have to pretend to be someone you're not for others to care about you. You should be able to have your own feelings, emotions, thoughts, wants, needs, etc. And if somebody really truly loves you for who you are, they'll validate all those emotions, even if they don't understand them. Like when I have someone telling me, well, I'm not going to apologize for that because you shouldn't think that way. Or I'm not going to apologize for that because that's a silly thing for you to cry over. You shouldn't feel that way anyway. That is so invalidating. That makes me feel a million times worse when that happens. I would rather the person not say anything at all, to be honest, which that happens too, right? It's dehumanizing. I don't have to understand why you're upset with me for me to be upset that I've done something to upset you, right? So you can say, Gemma, you know, as your mother, I'm just really upset with you right now because you wore that green shirt on Friday. And I could be like, what the F? But if you're truly, genuinely upset, I'm going to care. I'm going to say, oh my gosh, I didn't mean to do that, Mom. But, you know, I'm sorry. Let's talk about it. I'm not going to say, well, that's stupid. And just allow you to sit in your own feelings with it festering to the point to where you like hate me, right? Because that's what brews from that hatred and mistrust, loneliness, isolation, all those things that I don't want to ever see you feel again. You're my mom. All right. Right, Sandra, emotional, you know. It is my actual mom, so I try to stay away from the sexual stuff and everything.
I'm giving her the dad look.
Yeah. All right, Kelly. Last quarter moon in Cancer, take a breather, which is another running theme for tonight. Sometimes situations start with much promise and then get fatigued or fizzle out. This is normal. If a situation is dragging on and everyone is becoming far too sensitive, Kelly, it might be time to take a breather. Is it still what you want? If a situation is slipping away from you, it could be due to self-doubt or because too many people are trying to get their own way. If you're struggling to find a balance with a VIP in your life or a personal or professional connection, it may be time to show your feelings. There could be a clash here caused by everyone wanting to be the leader. Give the situation some air. You need to stop and revive. Emotional fatigue is as dangerous as physical fatigue if it becomes long-term. Good night, Mom. Love you. See the beauty in life to refresh your heart. Love is all there is, and I am love. That is your affirmation. So, Mom, I hope we can talk about, I said a lot, so maybe not publicly, but all right. Kelly, I do feel like there's a very, very stressful situation. I don't feel like it's so much as everyone wanting to be the leader. I feel like it's you not voicing your opinions, like, and your wants. You're kind of just trying to go with the flow, get a feel for what everyone else wants, or if it's just one person, for what the other person wants. When the fact of the matter is, the universe is calling for you to step up to the plate in this matter, because you do have the right ideas. Your heart and mind are in the right place. And I feel like in whatever this situation is, you've been put on the back burner many times. Okay. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a work thing or like feeling like a third wheel with friends or even in a romantic relationship. There's something here where like you don't speak up because no one's listening anyway. Everyone's going to do things how they want to do them. But so then why aren't you? Right? Because you don't want to have conflict or confrontation. Like, just let them have the moment. Like, no, it is time for you to step in and state your needs, your wants, your opinions, your feelings. And if somebody doesn't like it, they don't have to sit and listen to it and they don't have to abide by it. But the fact of the matter is, I feel like in the next couple of weeks, if you really step up your game and start speaking up and standing up for yourself, there are going to be some people on your side and you're going to be shocked. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe so-and-so is taking my side on this, because you're in the right. Just letting someone who's toxic or narcissistic or who always has to be right or who always has something negative to say about and towards you, just letting them be that way because that's how they are, Like, that's not acceptable in this situation. You have the right to have a voice and an opinion and to have it be heard. Yes, it's going to be awkward and uncomfortable, and it could cause a verbal argument. But too bad. This other person is always voicing their opinions and their thoughts and always doing whatever they want, regardless of who they step all over. That's the energy I'm getting. There has to be someone who finally says, no, this is BS. I'm not allowing this anymore. And who at least, even if you can't change it, says something about it. You have to stand up for yourself. You're going to get a lot more support than you think you're going to. Okay. If you and everyone else continue to just allow this one person or these couple people to continue just pushing everyone around and walking all over everyone, then you're never going to move beyond it. You're always going to kind of be looking to this toxic person for approval, your mom. It's time for you to stand up for yourself, Kelly, and that's going to be really, really hard. Practice in the mirror. If you don't, things are going to get a lot worse in the coming months. Just as far as how you're treated, things you have to be put through and things you have to go through, when really you could speak your mind and step away, and that's it. Before you become confrontational or before you do anything, take a couple of days, really sit and think about how you want to approach it, bring receipts if necessary, be ready. Seriously, I know I said it like kind of giggling, but practice what you want to say. This is a very important time in your life where you can make really valuable changes going forward, because once you finally get this person's not going to want to deal with you if you're standing up to them. Toxic people, narcissists, they never do. They never want to deal with people who will stand up to them or call them out on their BS. And while I know it's your mom, it's a good time for you to break from this relationship, because you are not growing in other areas because you're so focused on what is she going to think? What is she going to say? How is she going to try to destroy my life if I make this decision? You can't, it is stunting you 1,000,000%. If you're wondering why, your life isn't feeling very abundant, if you just can't get behind something and feel positive, or this relationship isn't working, a lot of it has to do with you're constantly, even subconsciously thinking, what is this person going to think, say, do, feel, want, need? F them. It's on you. Make your own decisions, but you need to let it known that that's what you're going to be doing. And you no longer need or want advice. And they're going to flip out and they're going to act like a child and they're going to put their foot down and stomp and they're going to go tell everyone you're the bad guy and tell everyone this, that, and the other. Those who truly care for you will know most of what this person's saying isn't true and they'll have your back. And those who don't, F them anyway. You don't need them. Baby dragon, I'm going to use the night fairies. My mom usually says something about her reading. She just left. It's weird. I'm a little uncomfortable now. Baby dragon, you got the Night Queen. You're welcome, Miss Kelly. Good luck. It's not going to be easy, and you may not do it this time. But now that it's been brought to light, these opportunities will keep coming until finally you do it. And you're going to feel really terrible for the first few weeks. But once you really can see the changes in your life, because this person's negativity is no longer attached to your energy, you're going to understand you're doing the right thing for you. Card number 26, the Night Queen. Queen of the Kingdom. She is the queen of the Night Fairy Kingdom. The regal one, royalty, a fair ruler, a sound judge, a fierce leader, a careful planner, and the Night Queen, the queen of the night. Fairies call us to embody all of these wonderful qualities and more as we consider ourselves royalty, self-love, careful planning, courageous leadership, claiming your throne. Squirrels are known for being careful planners who carefully sculpt their hiding places and stash away precious resources for colder times. While all of these qualities resemble the foresight of a great leader, squirrels also know they have a lot of fun too. They know how to have a lot of fun as well. They work hard, they play hard, frolicking, balancing, and don't forget the acrobatics. In your life, have you made equal time for both sides amid all of your royalties? Consider equal parts squirreling away and then frolicking all day. Take some time to meditate on that balance in your life. Affirmation, I am queen. I rule with kindness and compassion. A joyful kingdom is mine. Branching out from the meditation exercise, just like the squirrel totem finds balance, so can you take extra steps each day to find more balance between work and play. Heeding the lessons of the Night Queen and treating yourself like the royalty you are. Try to apply this in practical ways throughout your life because you deserve it. So, baby dragon, I know this is a little repetitive, but it's also very simple. You are not allowing yourself to have any fun at all. You're not allowing yourself to do anything other than stress, worry, and do everything for everyone else while no one else gives anything back. I'm not judging you. I get it. And I know it's not easy, to even find 5 minutes sometimes, or to break ourselves mentally out of this negative mindset of nobody appreciates me. I can't save money anyway. I can never. And I get it. That's perfectly normal and natural. But baby dragon, I think we said this either last week or a couple of weeks ago. You really have to try, if it's 5 minutes a day, to just escape off of electronics, away from the kids, away from work, just quiet, to free and clear your mind. There is a download that's trying to get to you. And apparently this is another common theme that you are not receiving because you are so challenged by everyone and everything around you and all the constant demands of your time, effort, energy, and everything from you. Who's giving back to you? And it's fine if nobody is. You have to give to you. And sometimes that's the hardest thing. If one of your kids were starving, you would get up and make them some food. But you're spiritually starving, you're emotionally starving, and you're leaving yourself in want because you don't feel you're worth it. And you may in your head be like, no, I know I'm worth it. That's why I'm working so hard. Yes, that's true. But if you really, you'd be emotionally and energetically and spiritually pouring into yourself. And I'm so glad you've been trying. Keep trying. Don't let anyone shame you, make you feel guilty or bad about taking time for yourself. And in fact, I would encourage you to take even more than you've been taking. You are emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, and psychically drained, and you are no good to anyone the way you are right now. And that's not saying anything bad about you. We all get there, okay? But I really feel like in the next 2 weeks specifically, you cannot have anyone have expectations. You cannot have expectations of anyone. Put expectations on yourself and then do the best you can to reach those goals. No pressure, no, you know what I mean? Just kind of go with the flow. Allow the universe to work and try new things out to see which way is going to get you on your path of where you need to be. If all you can see is the end goal and you want to walk one straight line as the crow flies, your life isn't going to go that way. The universe wants you to flow like water, as cheesy as it sounds, and allow room for movement and disappointment and reconfiguration. You have a plan and you have steps, but it's not going to work the way you think. All this disappointment, this anger, this frustration, it all means something in the end. You just can't see it yet. The universe is giving you everything you need and most of what you want, but it's going to be a while. So the more you take time out, meditate, listen to your instinct, intuition, your team, those inner voices, and really focus on just the end goal, not how you've got to get there, and not be so strict and stringent about how you want to get there, how you think you need to get there. You're going to be doing so much better once you can just let go of control. All right. Yeah, Jules, I was going to timestamp you anyway. So it's Jules and Black Dragon now, and then the 3 timestamps.
Yep.
All right. Got you.
Oh, there's a message in private chat.
Okay. And Eris, I guess. So 4 timestamps. She paid for it, so that's okay. All right. Miss Jules, no, it's okay. We were going to timestamp you. Like I said it earlier that if you weren't still here, we'd just timestamp you. You're fine. You're here every week. You donate pretty much every week. I don't mind. Oh, all right. I'm using Wild Woman, Jules. Bastet and Sekhmet. ferocious femininity, card number 22. Do you suppress qualities you deem unfeminine or even too feminine? And if so, how can you begin to shape a more dynamic and unrestrained view of femininity that is unique to you? Our patriarchal society, here we go. I hate when they get political in the books. Does not promote a femininity that is at once gentle and strong, domestic and wild, humble and confident. Bastet and Sekhmet remind you that you are multifaceted, yes you are, and dynamic, and your true feminine power cannot be caged or fitted into a neatly defined box. In ancient Egypt, Bastet was the goddess of cats, protection, the moon, domesticity, pleasure, love, fertility, and motherhood. Many scholars believe that Bastet translates to either soul of Isis or she of the ointment jar. Sekhmet, the more ancient lioness head goddess of Upper Egypt, ruled over the sun, war, destruction, plagues, and healing. Her name stems from the ancient Egyptian word shim, which means power or might, and she was often referred to as the powerful one, the one before whom evil trembles, and she who mauls. Although humans began domesticating cats thousands of years ago, felines have retained much of their inner wild nature. Although they can be affectionate, symbolized by Bastet, who is often depicted as a domestic cat, feeding her kittens or playing, felines are also fiercely independent and wild at heart, symbolized by Sekhmet, who is depicted as an untamed lioness ready to attack. Like felinity, femininity possesses qualities that have been deemed paradoxical by the patriarchy. And this has caused people, especially women, to struggle to embrace and embody all the gifts that true feminine power has to offer. So do I think you're being weighed down by the patriarchy? No, I don't believe in patriarchy, actually. I don't want to get political. That's my opinion. That's it. What I do feel is going on personally for you, though, Jules, is I feel like all of this training you've had throughout your life, being the scapegoat child, always feeling like you gave literally everything you could to every situation for everyone you cared about, and it was never enough. You still felt very unloved and lonely and alone, and that's because you were the whipping girl. And I hate saying that because it's terrible, but it's just facts. Now you're getting to know yourself. You're learning and growing and healing. I would caution you in the next 2 months or so. I would say 2 weeks to a month, 2 weeks to 2 months. In that area, 60 to 70 days, I would say. Make sure that you don't end up cultivating new friendships, relationships, doesn't have to be romantic, just relationships in general, with someone who's going to take advantage of you, use you, mislead you. I don't know why I'm seeing that. I feel like you would immediately recognize some of this as like red flag behavior, but because you've been trained to be giving and to give everything no matter how you're being treated, I feel like there is a real danger of you slipping back into those old patterns. Okay, so please keep your guard up, particularly in the next 2 weeks. Going forward, yeah, but the next 2 weeks, I'm really seeing somebody almost convincing you that, you have nothing to worry about with them. They're going to pay you back, or they're going to make it up to you somehow. Like, they're asking for quite a lot, though. And I feel like deep down in your instinct, that this person is kind of full of crap, but you want so badly to believe in them because you believe in people, because you're a light worker and you're beautiful and that's who you are. You're going to end up getting screwed out of something, even if it's just the emotional damage and pain that comes with this person ghosting you the minute they get what they want. I will reiterate, because I always have to with you for some reason. Don't let anyone move into your house. Be careful who you allow to even step into your house, okay? Make sure you get with me. Text me Sunday. And if I'm not available Sunday, I get home from church at around like 2:30, 3 o'clock. If I'm not available Sunday, we'll make a date for in the week between Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. All right? All right. Black Dragon. Let's do Halloween. I just tried to enter in my circle today. What do you mean you just tried? You mean like somebody tried to enter into your inner circle, or? Black Dragon, you got the apple. Risk and reward. Sweetest icon, risky red desire, poison and freedom, tempting hearts afire. Apples have been a symbol of Samhain for a very long time. Apples, when cut in half, have a seed pattern that looks like a pentagram, and so the Celts held the fruit to be sacred. Bobbing for apples, a game traditionally played at Halloween, has its origins in the Samhain festival and is one of the oldest associated with this celebration. The traditional way to play is to place 3 or 13 apples into a barrel of water, and the game is to try and bite an apple whilst it floats and bobs in the water. Hands must not be used, and people often compete with one another, bobbing at the same time. Candy apples, apple on a stick covered in toffee, although not quite as popular now as they once were as Halloween fare, are now making a comeback as fun and simple treats to prepare on this night. Oh, I was like, what happened? Apples have been an iconic part of mythos from ancient times to modern. The story of the poisoned apple in Snow White, to the Roman goddess Pomona's magical apple tree, to the Christians' tempting fruit in the Garden of Eden, which, by the way, the Bible never says apple. It's not an apple. It's more than likely a pomegranate based on that time in that part of the world. I hate when they use apple as the Christian symbol. Should you receive this apple in your reading, it's time to look at how risk plays out in your life. Are you hedging your bets and not trying anything new? Do you want change but are not willing to change anything? Are you willing to risk to get a greater reward? Or alternatively, are you risking too much too often? All right, Black Dragon, I feel like you're not taking many chances. And you may feel like you're taking a lot of chances, but I feel like in the next couple of weeks, it's like you're not willing to go there. And I don't know what that means, but I'm hearing like he's just not willing to go there. And I feel like it's because there's a situation brewing. Either you're aware of it now or it's circling you and you'll be aware of it in the next few weeks where it's just too familiar, right? Like you already know how this turns out, a get rich quick scheme, something or someone that seems too good to be true. But the universe is saying you can't make your decisions now based on what happened in the past unless you're dealing with the same exact person in the exact same situation. I would say in the next couple of weeks, if something or someone seems too good to be true, they're probably not. It's probably not. You should definitely take some risks and chances, some leaps of faith, obviously not to your detriment. And that could mean something different for everyone. Taking a chance for me is like something probably, going for a walk in the woods, going for a hike, right? I don't ever do that. It's something scary. It's something I never do. But taking a risk for you might be, investing in a friend's company or asking someone out. I don't know your life well enough to know what this would mean. But it's saying, yes, you've been in this similar situation before. But this time it's a lot different. And I feel like instinctively and intuitively you're going to know that, but there is a part of you that fears moving forward in whatever this is. Don't sign major contracts, don't make major purchases, don't lend or borrow money. Other than that, I feel like you should go with the flow, go with, offers to get out and have fun or to do something new and different. Don't let fear stop you from those things because doing those things are going to open up even more opportunities to meet new people, experience new things, and really start living the heck out of your life. Now I hope Nutslap's okay because for him to not come in, he might have texted me back though. All right, I am doing timestamps and I'm going to go put my groceries away and hop on Fortnite probably.
Okay. He's probably working too.
Yeah, but he listens at work.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, every week.
That's sad for you. She got her all upset.
Now, yeah, I hope he's. I hope he's not upset. I maybe forgot his birthday. I just don't think of those. I have to remember so many birthdays. You know what I mean? I don't remember anyone's really. I always get yours wrong by a day.
Yeah, what's up with that, man?
I just am not good with it. All right, we're starting with KC.
Okay.
We're using the Seeker Oracle. Yeah, let's summon him. I love how in this chat, oh, Blue, I know yours now because if you remember 2 years ago, I got it wrong. And I told you, if you tell me again, I will never forget it because I made a note in my head. And Stephen, I know yours is the 15th.
Good girl.
Okay. I always say 16th. I don't know why I always have September.
Yeah, you do for some reason.
Don't know why, but I got it now. Blue, I promised I would never forget. And when I do that, I always make that note of it. Like, chick, don't forget this. Like, because it's, for me, birthdays are such, yes, I know yours, Jules, because it's the same as my daughter's, but like, I always make such a big deal about my birthday because most people, besides my mom, stopped celebrating it when I was very young. And that affected me as a kid. Like, I wasn't allowed Christmas anymore. I at like 10. So aside from my mom, nobody ever really. So now that I'm old enough, like, I want everyone to know, like, it's my birthday and we're doing stuff. All right, Miss KC, express gratitude. Birthday month, yes. When I went to the bingo party last week, my Aunt Teresa, she's oh my gosh, she throws the most amazing parties. She puts so much effort. I never don't have a good time. Everything always food from wall to wall, decorations everywhere. She always has fun things to do. I had so much fun. But she doesn't like to be the center of attention. I love it, as you guys know. So she's like, what do you mean? She's like, this is all March birthdays. She's like, go get your birthday sash. So I got my little birthday princess sash and I'm prancing around. And Nutslap's like, your birthday was like 2 weeks ago. How long are we going to drag this out? And I was like, Aunt Edna said it's birthday month.
1 second before you go on. Bat Mom, we did a timestamp for you. If you want it now, let me know, or I can put it in the comments at the end, but you need to let me know one way or the other.
Yeah, because I thought you were just working and maybe didn't hear it. But one thing I do remember for a lot of you, I may not remember your exact birthday, but I try to remember your sun sign. So Aunt Edna, Leo, Blue Crossroads, Libra, Stephen, Virgo, multifaceted Jules, you're on the cusp of Scorpio and Sagittarius. Who else is in here? I know Nutslap's a Pisces, but he's also on the cusp. Batmom, Capricorn, Nomeo, Aries, or Leo, and Black Dragon, I have no idea. KC, who is a Pisces friend, we all have much to be thankful for, but all too often we get weighed down by life's disappointments and the responsibilities that we carry. Life doesn't always go according to plan. Over time, our ability to see the good in our lives and in others can be very dulled. We find ourselves dwelling in a world of gray. By regularly expressing gratitude, we can change our state of mind and inspire more positive emotions and thoughts. We make a conscious choice to think more about moments that have made us smile or feel both loved and loving. It's all about balance. We are not being asked to be happy and forget about our concerns, that toxic positivity. Sandra's a Sag. Oh, you're a cusp too? Sometimes the best we can achieve is a state of peaceful acceptance that helps us face and deal with adversity. So KC, show your appreciation. Be sure to thank those who have helped you, even for the smallest of things. Tell those who are there for you how much you appreciate and care about them and support them. No, that's not what that says. Tell those who are there for you how much you appreciate their care and support. Support them. Brighten another's day by offering encouragement by way of an unexpected compliment or word of praise. Giving thanks to others can not only brighten their day, but your day too. So Casey, I don't really see why you would be getting a card like this. I mean, you randomly messaged me like, I'm proud of you. And I'm basically a complete stranger. I mean, I've known you for years, but we never actually met. Do you know what I mean? And I see you as, even with everything you're going through, is being a very positive person. What I feel like is happening here is, even after the tragedy you suffered, there was a lot of expectation still put on you. And I don't think that you're ungrateful for life going on and you having to do the things you've always done. But I feel like there's a part of you that may be feeling a little bit of bitterness, especially being a Pisces sun, right? We're always in our emotions. And I just feel like you were not given, maybe by some people or one particular person in general, like enough space to breathe. This person expected you to like bounce back immediately. If this isn't resonating, I want you to, going forward, avoid situations where you're expected to be like a certain way. Surround yourself in the next couple of weeks specifically with people who you're allowed to be sat around, who you don't have to put a mask on for. If somebody's done a kindness for you, maybe let them know, because sometimes we do things for people because we're just doing them. And And we don't realize the major effect positively that it has on their lives, right? So if you're, this might be a good time to reach out to someone you haven't spoken to in a while, or, someone you kind of had to put on the sidelines or on the back burner with everything you were going through. Just check in, make sure they're okay. If you're in a position to help others, do that, but not when it's an expectation, right? Make sure there are no expectations, within reason, of course, being put on you right now. You have no minor children, no real responsibilities as far as children are concerned, where like you can't just take a break. And I hope that doesn't come off as arrogant. I feel like the way I said that didn't come out right. Make your own decisions on who you want to help. Don't be talked out of doing something for someone if you feel that it's the right thing. And again, do not allow others in the next 2 weeks specifically to put any sort of expectation on you. I feel like you're on your own path. You're going through your own journey right now. It's different than anything you've ever been through before or had to deal with. And while you have people around you that I hope now you can turn to and be honest with, you still need that time and space for yourself. And it may be a lot more than some people think that you should need, but there's no guide to grief. Grief is love with nowhere to go. What do we do with that? So don't be shamed or guilted for needing time to yourself or your own space. Make no apologies for being who you truly are and feeling how you truly feel. Oh, multifaceted jewels. I'm so glad you love them. I love that rose. I got one for myself, the same color, and I gave mom a rose quartz one. And the dragonfly, yeah, it's going to go nice with the earring. Lotus girl, I'm using Moonology. When I was younger and I would tell people I was Cherokee, half Cherokee, they would tell me, like, they would joke like that runs with scissors. Mine falls with stairs because I was always drunk.
Who are you doing now?
Lotus.
You did her earlier. Remember she was.
Did I read for her already?
Yeah, you were already.
Okay. Sorry about that. So we have Eric. Oh yeah, I did read. Did I?
Yes, you read for her earlier.
Oh, while she was still here.
Yep.
All right. Let's do Eris then.
Okay. Then Alex, right?
Actually, I'm going to do Alex now because Eris's deck is over there. This is Alex. Alex, I'm using Moonology. Poke, poke, yuck, yuck. That's great. Thanks. All right. Last quarter moon in Capricorn. Leave the past behind. Alexander. Guys, please check out the shorts. Chills TV, if you want to email me and that's something you do. Yeah. If you're being a troll or facetious, no. What's up? I feel uncomfortable. Anyway, support the shorts, support TikTok, IG, all that good stuff, guys. And that's right, Blue. I totally forgot about that. Last quarter moon in Capricorn. All right, cool. Well, then, yeah, email me. I would love to get a reading. Something is standing between what you want and how you can get it. That's okay. Now you know it's there. You can do something about it. You just need to be strategic. It's wonderful to go for things with a childlike, carefree attitude, but drawing this card suggests that you need a proper plan as well. Leave the past behind. You may need to move through and clear criticism someone has made of you, which has somehow burned itself into your brain. You have work to do. Alex, this moon has a bright, shining energy, but a reserved pressure is piling on. I'm not sure if they're legit or not. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe they are, but I don't. Stephen, nobody can hear you. All right, but
they're not.
Okay. I figured they were going to say something like nasty to me. That I thought that's what was coming. The great thing about knowing what stands between you and your goal is that you can do something about it. The only way out is through. So, Alexander, we actually spoke, I think it was yesterday, and you were talking to me about how you were sick and, put a lot of pressure on you with work and like being able to do the things that you love to do and the things that you actually are responsible for and like that you have to do, right? Okay. So we talked about that. And I did feel kind of like, I think I even said to you, like, your energy feels a little lower than normal. And I do feel like there's a pressure piling on with you to make a decision about something, Alex. But I don't feel like now is like the exact time to be able to make a, like, you don't have all the information yet. I feel like you know where you want the direction of whatever this is to go, whether it's, your marriage or whether it's your what you're doing in work or just life in general. There's some decision, like, how you want it to end. I'm sorry, Alex. Yeah, he came in being too creepy, whether he was legit or not. It creeped me out. So, okay. You just don't have enough information, or like there's a reason here. There's something blocking you from being able to actively make a decision about a particular situation, even though you really feel like you're ready. So this is the universe, Alexander, in the next 2 weeks telling you to just take a step back, take a deep breath. Don't do anything irrational or rash like that you're going to regret, because you may feel like it's all systems go, like, I've got to do this. I can't take this anymore. Take a deep breath. Trust me. Trust your spirit guides. Take a deep breath. Take a step back and really rationally, reasonably, and logically think out whatever this is. And you'll see that it's going to take some time. There's something missing, like you're missing a puzzle piece here. And until you have that puzzle piece, that piece of information, or, stack of money or whatever it is, you are not going to be able to move forward with this plan. And I feel like there are people around you, or at least one person telling you that now's not the right time for this, but you're just so adamant. And I feel like that's because you're just feeling restless. You're feeling a lot of pressure. Alex, take some time out for you. I don't know where you live in Germany, but you showed me such beautiful pictures over the holidays. I will never forget the little traditional photos you showed me of you and your family and just things you were doing. If you have any woods around you, ground. I know it sounds a little silly, but go out in your backyard or garden, if that's what you call it, and be barefoot on the dirt just for a couple of minutes and just stand there and look around and listen. Like, you just need to, speaking of Chills TV Grow House, you just need to chill. Okay. Take a deep breath. Talk to someone you trust. Really work through this mindfully and rationally in your head. And you'll see that it is definitely attainable, obtainable, achievable, whatever this is, for sure. But right now in this moment, like, do not make any major irrational decisions based on just being stressed and feeling pressure to do so. And if someone's pressuring you to make a decision about something you're not ready to do, or a decision you're unsure of still, you need to let them know, rather than just doing whatever someone else tells you to do and then really regretting it later, and probably instantly as well. All right. Last one is Miss Eris.
Yeah, you would have loved this channel.
What?
We all went and looked at his channel. It was pretty way up there. Anyways,
I feel bad judging him, but
I know
he came in a little creepy, right? Like,
yeah,
it wasn't just
he would have left creepy too. So.
Like, do you want me to read for you, Gemma? I'm legit.
Baby.
That's how I heard that in my head. Like the dating game killer.
Yeah.
Where she's like, if you were a food, describe yourself. He's like, oh, I'd be a banana.
A banana.
And she chose him. She didn't go on that. I'm going to cover him. Rodney Alcala. He won on the dating game to go on the date, and she didn't go. And they were like, why do you go? She's like, there was something about him that creeps me out.
She said he was creepy. She said he creeped her out.
Chills. Give me 1 second, guys. I don't know if I can still see it because I blocked him. No, what are you doing? Oh, I don't think I can see him. Hold on. So Chills, though? Like, race guy Chills?
Yeah, Chills, yeah. Does the top 10 and all that.
Oh, he has... I thought he had 231K. I was like, maybe I'll befriend him.
Huh?
Oh, I don't know. He seems kind of cool.
He seems cool. Yeah, he just seemed... I was just waiting for him because when he said, I'm going to give you a read, and I was just waiting for it.
Like Aunt Edna said, he likes his weed. I'll unblock him. He just came in too creepy.
Yeah, he did.
All right. Miss Eris. Neriti, the card of misfortune. Don't panic. Remember, if you're getting a reading from someone and all they're giving you is bad and negative, you're going to want to ask more questions, because the universe always balances everything out. There's always balance everywhere. Do you know what I'm saying? That's why people are always like, oh, you don't only give, negative. And it's like, well, nothing's ever just negative. There's always a spin, always. And I know that sounds crazy and very like general, but it really is true. Eris, misfortune has arrived on your doorstep. Dealing with financial strife, adversity, illness, or pain is never easy. And if you've experienced a loss, don't be afraid to seek help and lean on those who are offering assistance. You don't need to suffer alone. Allow Neriti to help carry the weight of your burdens. Remember that nothing lasts forever, and these hardships too shall pass. You talked to me recently, Eris, about just a lot of things seeming to go wrong and feeling like you're having this run or string of bad luck, right? And I told you, yeah, this happens. You asked me, does this usually happen before awakening? Absolutely, it does. But until you work through and find the lesson in every single thing you're dealing with right now, you're not going to move forward. And I know that sounds overwhelming, but Eris, take one step at a time, right? You don't want to rush into awakening and find out that you missed something, right? Because then it's not really awakening. All right. I feel like each and everything that's happening to you right now is actually happening for you. And if you just give it some time, right? Just kind of, I hate to say this, but like play through the pain, do the best you can to stay spiritually aligned and elevated, because you are a very elevated, high vibrating soul. I mean, 99% of us thought you were a guy for the last 3 years. You just have, and that's not saying anything. It just means you have very like masculine and balanced energy. All right. Which is unusual in a female, right? It's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean you're manly. It's just a different vibe than most women have because you're elevated. Give it all some time. Work through it all as best as you can. Be as reasonable and as grateful as you possibly can, even for the negatives. I know for me, I'm religious, so I'll thank God a lot of the time for things he took away. Because at the time it sucked, but knowing what I know now, where I am now, I'll be like, wow, thank goodness, you took my addiction when I was holding on to it for dear life and ready to die on that hill when it was time for me to give it up. Right. Or, there are just so many things in my life. Eris, over the next few weeks, start really trying to like put an end to and like finish any situations you can. Get away from toxicity. If you owe a lot of debt, try to pay it off as quickly as possible. Like do everything you can to elevate your situation personally. And throughout the next coming weeks, you're going to see one after the other, bam, 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 how each and every one of these things has been a blessing and a lesson in disguise to help push you out of the dark night and into the awakening. I don't see you entering awakening until at least New Year's, like the beginning of next year, the end of this year. But that doesn't mean things won't get better. But you can't give up. You can't wallow in self-pity, and you can't walk around constantly in this state of confusion and like mental terror. All right. You've got this. And I'm always here to answer questions. I tell you guys that all the time. I don't get back to everyone snap quick. Sometimes I'll just listen to a voice text or read a text and it doesn't seem like it warrants a response. Maybe someone's just telling me something or whatever. For the most part, though, I do try. Okay, guys, please donate if and what you can. I just got paid today. I spent most of it on groceries and, streaming services, my son's lunch. So until the 21st, I will receive no more money at all. Except for what y'all give me in donation. So also stay tuned Monday for Hudson Valley, high strangeness in the Hudson Valley. Let me tell you, there are some strange abduction stories, as well as this crazy plague of UFO sightings that went on in the 80s, right near where I live. That's why I was kind of drawn to it. Next week or the week after, if I could put a video out next week, it'll be next week. It's encounters with extraterrestrials who are wearing jetpacks or like flying suits. I found enough of them to make a video. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. I will see you all Monday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern virtually through my pre-recorded video. And then again next Friday. Support the shorts. TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, X. Again, I'm dibbing and dabbing, but mainly the YouTube shorts, please. It means so much to me. Comment at least 7 characters, like the video, share them with people who might think they're funny or silly or who might just want to be involved in our gemstone community. Love you guys. Steven, I'll message you when I'm done putting away groceries.
Yes, ma'am. I'm out.